Test, test, test. Rays and Braves today, right, boys?
Yeah.
You ever go to any spring training?
I'm not going all the way out to Port Charlotte or.
You ever go to Clearwater?
Oh yeah, yeah.
love Clearwater.
I go to Clearwater all the time or Dunedin, and they do the Dollar Nights. The Dollar Nights are where it's at, Mike.
Hey, Coca-Cola's gonna just load me up with tons of tickets to the
Sweet.
Threshers.
Tell
Yeah.
me,
We could send them all here.
say less,
Send
Mike.
them all
I'll
here,
be
Mike.
there.
They didn't say anything about Ray.
Well, Sports Connection. I'll drink.
Oh,
I'll drink
yeah.
Coca-Cola.
Oh yeah. Oh, hey, would you look at that?
Look at that man.
What's that?
Yeah, I got this from one of my students. He did all like the vintage clothing and stuff, and so he's like, "Oh, Coach Botham, you like the Rays?"
Here we go. And away, as Jackie Gleason say, and away we go.
His mom cussed you out for making her leave a person.
Good morning, Tampa Bay, and welcome to the Tampa St. Pete Sports Connection radio show, providing a positive perspective from the Pee-wees to the preps to the pros on this February 21st, first spring training game today, Rays game of 2026, Braves and Rays. We're video streaming for the next 2 hours from our Ferg Sports Bar and Grill, Ice Pick Vodka Body Armor Studios, across from Tropicana Field in downtown St. Petersburg. Ferg's, of course, the #1 local sports bar, as voted by USA Today back in October, and our home for almost 7 years now on the Tampa St. Pete Sports Connection, also broadcasting on RadioSt.Pete.com, Florida Sports Streams, YouTube, Facebook, and soon TikTok. I'm Mike Rickard alongside Ray Kennedy, Ben Botham in the house, of course, Jake and Adam and Tristan, and the lovely Melina, the Canadian traitor that's in our infiltrated our ranks there, Ben Botham.
There's a Canadian here,
There's a Canadian in here.
Mike. That's against my contract.
USA. And anyway, that's tomorrow at 8:10 a.m. Actually, Ferg's is going to be open, isn't it?
Breakfast at
Breakfast
Ferg's.
at Ferg's.
There's breakfast at Wimbledon. We have breakfast at Ferg's to celebrate the game, and it's going to be a great game. And that was a great game, Molina, the other day we were talking.
Unbelievable
The
game.
Canadian ladies, the Canadian Americans, that was a great, took it all the way to the end. And, of course, the ladies pulled it out in a heartbreaker. But for us, it wasn't so much.
You know, I actually got a little emotional in that game. I mean, I've never been a hockey guy, but anytime it's the red, white, and blue, I think you guys will agree.
Oh, absolutely.
Against the rest of the world, I get pretty excited about it. So
I got excited because it was Hillary Knights getting engaged, and of course Keller with the way she scores it in overtime. And the irony is you've got to adjust for a slowdown as opposed to the men's to the ladies or the college game. It ends up the overtime scorer with Keller scores it basically every bit an NHL style goal. The way she scores that overtime
it
winner.
absolutely was.
That's
wasn't
why
it?
it was. That's why it got me. I think that's why it got you.
Well, I'm looking forward to tomorrow, 8:10 a.m. We're going to have our expert from the Bolts, and that's Wyatt Ross. He's going to break it down for us as nobody can. He'll do that about 11:45. Top of the hour, we're going to talk to Kenny Stills. His book, 30 Days to Play College Football. A great topic right now, and some of the things happening in the world of high school, and the issue with Teddy Bridgewater, which is near and dear to your heart, Ben Botham, as an instructor and a teacher and a coach at Seminole High. $15,000. That's chump change.
Yeah, I'll let you know. I'll just go pull it out of my account real quick. I got that just sitting around. Spend on some kids.
In the Hard Rock Bet account, you have it,
Yeah.
but that's for business. This is pleasure.
I think it's silly that I understand why they're doing it because of the whole Teddy Bridgewater thing, but
Well, I think Teddy was providing more than 15 grand.
yeah, and supposedly what he was saying was what he was buying Uber rides and some meals for the kids. That I can kind of get behind.
5-star restaurants and Maseratis.
But that's when it gets a little crazy.
But on a continuing to be an unbalanced field of play, a public school teacher can't get overtime, has to leave, still works 12 hours of labor of love as a coach like yourself, and it's harder for a Seminole High to pull a athlete because at the end of the day, it's all the things add up. You don't got $15,000. You can't get the $50,000 you deserve for all the time you put in, and that's where we have the issue.
And you're not going to have to worry about athletes pretty soon if they keep Now they want to charge them $50 to participate.
$50. They're saying that this is in on par with a lot of the other counties around us.
I hate to
Why
tell
are-
you guys, I love Florida, but Florida blows when it comes to high school sports.
It doesn't make any sense why we're charging some of these kids. I have kids who walk to bowling practice, who ride their bike with 2 bowling balls on their backpack. What are we talking about? We're gonna start charging them $50 to play bowling?
And can I mention one thing? The obvious antithesis of all of this is you get a headline in the Tampa Bay Times this week. The state's going to give 22 acres of land to Hillsborough College. No, they're not. They're going to steal 88 acres and give it to a billionaire to build a stadium. But the headline
You
is
can't give a damn
education.
dime to the high school.
But we can't. We want $50 a player to participate in soccer and swimming and bowling and football, and that's where you're drawing the line. That's how you can do away with property taxes.
It's-
You're making us pay for sports.
It's amazing, Ben Botham and Ray Kennedy, coming from the Midwest, of how successful the athletic teams are down here under the duress and the feudal pay that they receive.
Well, we have this thing, centralized athletics here in Pinellas County. So all the money's supposed to be pooled together from the ticket sales and what have you. I haven't seen any of it. I've never received a dime from the county for my bowling team. I know we haven't seen any money outside of the money that we raise through our booster program with baseball. So I don't know where this centralized athletic money is going, and it's frightening to me.
And we can't let boosters get money because we've got to
Well-
question every dollar. But there's a pool of fund of $15,000 per school for your private schools to have players get their Uber rides home and their Uber Eats.
Well, I know that all sports in general are a losing venture for Pinellas County schools. The only sport that is making money for Pinellas County is football, and what we're seeing is numbers for football are dropping fast. You're going to see a lot of schools in Pinellas County not having football.
Was that last year?
programs.
No, it was the year before when Seminole, your Warhawks, had to. What they do? Pretty much didn't have a.
They were
a cla-
two-way
a cla-
football basically the entire
Yeah.
season.
And you're going to start seeing that across the board. All these schools, there's going to be one, then there's going to be two, and you're going to see it. We've already seen it this year for baseball,
Yeah.
where Bogey doesn't have a baseball program.
Boca
So,
Ciega, the
no-
Pirates don't have baseball.
no
Don't,
baseball.
somebody
That was my
get Joe
first
Geiger
team.
on the line. What's going on here?
That was my first team that I interviewed. Was the Boca Ciega baseball
We had to cancel them.
kids.
I had to take them off the Max Prep schedule because
And-
they don't have it. And you're going to see that with football, and that's when the county's going to freak
That
out, and
is
that's why the
sickening.
county's starting to charge money for these kids to
Coach
play the
Mike,
sport.
and you remember Mike? He was he stepped away
Mm-hmm.
for a lot of reasons over at Bogey. They got issues. I did not know that their baseball program
Gone. Not a thing.
That is sad.
And can I say something here?
course.
First of all, we're saying the sports we're losing. We're losing sports. We're losing sports. No, actually, the biggest losers is education in our children and our communities.
That's the
because
bottom
all
line,
the
right?
resources you get. But let me juxtapose this.
Can you
but
say that?
I tried by driving to
Don't use terms that big if you can't pronounce them.
juxtaposition. I can give you a definition. You want the English or
man,
the?
my man.
But I'm driving past Osceola last night, and I'm seeing the two teams getting ready to rumble on the field. There, the lights are on, the fields are beautiful. These kids are still excited. So you can take the dog out of the fight, but you can't take the fight out of the dog. We just got to keep tooting our horn here on the Sports Connection to make sure people realize support your local sports, support your kids, because you're supporting your future. Because these are the kids you're going to be dependent on to take care of us when we need them most.
And I will say this: Mark Allison, the new athletic director for Pinellas County, he's doing a wonderful job. His goal is to try and create more sports, give more opportunities for a lot of kind of
More $50 payments.
Well, okay, I really like Mark Allison. He's doing a fantastic job. Like I said, he's trying to bring in some boys volleyball, which is something that we've been looking for at the high school level for a long time.
Crazy.
I hear kids all the time come up to me and they're asking, Coach, why is there no boys volleyball? Why is there no this? Why is there no that? And by doing this, I think it will help kind of add more opportunities for a lot of these kids that are looking for
engagement
something.
for not just the athletes but the student body. What if we had water polo? We've got pools at different places for our swim teams. What if you had a serious water polo competition? I'm going to line up to see
Well,
that.
They're talking about doing competitive cheer as well.
Yeah,
and you see
anything.
how big that is. You have like Top Dog and all the other kind of crazy cheer academies that are around here. if you bring that into the high school side, think about the monies that it could bring in for that as well.
Yes.
And give
What
back.
about dance? And I'm being serious.
Dance, yes, 100%.
I'm just thinking about the economically
Everything.
strong, but they are not associated with the high schools. And you're right, cheerleading and
But all I
dance.
can think about is, as I'm thinking cheerleading and bowling and curling and hockey, all I'm thinking about are students engaging with each other.
Curling, we're in frickin' Florida, you boob.
We got a Canadian in the house, so someone that's for you. But no, we're thinking about the kids engaging with each other, making them better students, better people. And again, that's what this is all about. It's not just the sports and the arts. The arts and the sports get our kids together instead of just being stuck in it. It's not just a breakfast club like John Hughes, the Breakfast Club from the 80s, where they're having a party on Saturdays. The engagement builds better communities, and that's what we're talking about here, guys.
Go ahead.
I just think we're trying, as public schools, we're trying to compete with these private schools that are dominating.
haves and the have-nots,
and
baby.
that are stealing so much away from us. Us having more sports is going to be a net positive because it's going to give these kids more opportunities. And I think that what you're going to see, we saw with IMG taking in the drug money
Unbelievable.
from these kids.
1.47 million from the cartel.
Absolutely.
You didn't know where it
insane.
was coming
They
from.
had a hell of a team.
But,
kidding. I'm kidding.
You know,
Sorry.
I think more things
they-
like that are going to come out because there's no way that parents are paying $60,000 a year for their kid to go to high school, and it just doesn't make any
Again,
sense.
let me just ring that bell one more time. The other side of it is we're taking away a Hillsborough College, the public schools. If they wanted to build a stadium at Jesuit, do you think that they would even consider doing this over there in Tampa? But no, it's the public schools that get the short end of the stick, which that's the way it happens, right? Money talks. But at the end of the day, let's just be cognizant it's happening and not act like we were fooled or boondoggled when it does.
The answer needs to be is keeping the private schools out of the state championship. Because if they're allowed to recruit, if they're allowed to pay for everybody, if they're allowed to break every fundamental rule that a public school cannot do, why do they have any business being in the state championship?
Let's talk to a guy that was at IMG when they originally opened, and he was on a couple of weeks ago, and he's going to be a continued guest. Superb, young man in my world. He's Kenny Steele Sr. The book is 30 Days to Play College Football, but as we talked about, it's America's #1 recruit guidebook. This can be used for any sport, and never in the history of high school sports has this book had more need to be read by parents, coaches, and even us as we talk about it here. What's up, my man?
All good, partner. All good. Sorry about that. Run a little late. My son had a football game this morning, so I was out coaching a little ball, just getting back in.
That's a lot more important. How'd you do?
They did great. They won. He's a little stud, not because it's the Steels.
Oh
He's
yeah,
just a
yeah.
little stud.
The Steels. You know, your son was a stud. You were, and now, what's your son's name?
Preston. He's 13 years old.
What's the
And,
position? What's the position, Mr. Kenny?
It's flag football, so he plays a little safety and a little wide receiver. And
Oh, that runs in the family too. Those hands and
Yeah,
the
yeah,
speed.
yeah,
What do you
yeah.
think?
sir.
What do you think he's
I
gonna?
had to ask.
What do you think he's gonna be?
Not a lineman.
A center.
I'll bet he could be though. I'll bet he could
yeah, we're all skilled. We're all skilled guys. But he caught a couple touchdowns, had interceptions. So yeah, it was fun. It's fun to watch him. But they've won 7 little flag championships in the last 8 seasons. So it's always competitive.
You're a dynasty. You're a Bill Belichick of flag football.
Well, hey, we try, and I told you I have some relatives that have played in the league. My cousin Gary Stills played for the Kansas City Chiefs for 13 seasons, and both of his sons, Dante and Darius, are in the league now with the Raiders and the Cardinals. So you can look for them. Stills, Stills.
Damn,
defensive
what a
lineman.
family tree!
Hey, what can I say, man?
It starts with you, my man. Hey, so
Yeah.
let's talk about it. And I sent you a text. We should have had a conversation, but you're a busy man, and I was busy this week trying to stay on the planet. But anyway, this book, after seeing the Teddy Bridgewater, I guess,
Yes.
rule, we could call it
Yes.
that, guys.
Yeah.
$15,000 now a coach can spend, which is ludicrous. You know, that doesn't go very far. Let's talk about that and, you know, what Teddy did, if it is a crime. And then speaking of crimes, let's talk about IMG and the recent development there.
Yes, let's talk about the Bridgewater rule. That was awesome. Definitely needed. I saw Chris Carter and some other guys up there. Like if you're in Texas, those coaches are making $70, $80, $90,000. I know George Teague, Seneca Wallace, those type ex-NFL guys are in that state and they're coaching. They're making a ton of money, which they should be, coaching high school football. Now in Florida, you come here, and the most you can get is a $2,000, $3,000 stipend. So what Teddy did, in my opinion, because he cares about the kids and wants to see them have success, he's like, hey, we got to feed these kids. We got to get them to practice. We got to get them to games. So he spent his own money to make that happen. And some people saw that as being outside the lines illegal, and so he lost his job. So what does he do? He goes to Congress and he fights it.
By the way, Kenny, his non-paying job.
Thank you. So I don't understand that. It was great to see that bill being passed. It's just awesome, and it's got to happen. It's the wave of the future. The Florida coaches need to get paid. You're looking at your top athletes in the country: California, Florida, Texas. Those coaches are there. They're mentoring those kids. They care about those kids, and the guy's writing a check out of his own pocket. And somebody's got a problem with that. It's crazy, but they made it right by passing this bill. Now allowing these Florida coaches to spend some money and to get paid.
Mr. Stills, let me ask, or Kenny, let
Don't
me
call
ask.
him Mr. Stills.
Kenny,
He'll
I'm
never
sorry.
come on again.
I can't help myself.
Call him Coach Stills. Call him anything. Don't call him Mr. Stills.
Well, and first of all, let me go ahead and pose here that when we're talking about a book, 30 Days to a College, getting to be a college football, but talking about family, Kenny, you pointed out here, not a probably more proficient family with members in the league that went to the colleges, and then now so that book you're talking about, and like you said, Mike, it's not just for football or even sports. It's literally a guidebook for any student at any level. So I love that. But let me ask you this, Kenny, if I can, because the $15,000 to Teddy B, and he gets righteous on that, and the Bucks, he's still a backup with the Bucks as far as I know, but want to get Coach back there. But what can we do to get it more on a fair level playing field with our public schools? Because I don't want to say because like an Alabama needs a Kent State to beat up on her because of stuff like that, but we got to level that playing field. What can we do that? It's got to come from the state, right? And what can we do maybe to level that playing field, Kenny?
Yeah, it's always about regulation. It's like everything else that's going on with the NIL and all that. It's happening at the high school level. It was happening when I first moved here to Florida. Armwood, they've got, and not to pull out schools' names and throw names out there, but I remember when I first moved here, parents were buying property in that neighborhood so their child could go to that school. You know, even though they might have lived in West Shore, they were having a house over there. So it's been going on forever. No one wants to see parity, which is sad. I think college football now does by allowing what they do. The NFL, obviously, with free agency has that, but high school, we've got to regulate that here. And it starts with us, with the foundation of the people. I see people moving into. I was sitting with the head coach from Newsom yesterday, and he was telling me how he's lost kids to, and I'm not throwing names out there, like Tampa Catholic had one of his players. This Carrollwood Day got another one of his players because their kid is training at the trenches, and it's sad to hear. So the state has got to come up and with some regulation at some point in time, and because right now at the high school level, they're trying, but the kids are getting picked, cherry picked. Hey, we'll give you an extra $5,000. It's happening. It happened 15 years ago when I moved here. So I know what's going on. So the state has got to step in, do what they did with the Bridgewater rules. They got to start coming up with some regulations and get some fines, and people got to start paying. I mean, it's sad, but it's reality because I guess this country, winning is everything. And I think I heard Belichick say that's not everything.
We're going to need a luxury tax. We're going to need a private school luxury tax. If it's going to be pro across the board, it's almost something we need to consider.
I don't know what high school coach is going to be able to drop $15,000 other than, hey, Teddy Bridgewater. I get a $2,000 stipend for coaching baseball or for coaching bowling. And
go show some advertising for the Tampa St. Sports Connection.
Hold on. And then it gets taxed as a bonus. So it's Uncle Sam's taking 40% of that. And now I'm just kind of sitting there like, what the hell am I doing?
And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying, and Kenny, I'm not saying, friend Mike, from a competitive standpoint, we have no problem. I love to see a Tampa Catholic and Armwood Day or a matchup between schools.
Armwood's a public school, though.
Well, but I'm saying
I do like Armwood because they're public, Kenny.
And that was a great example that he used there. And I love kids moving into a district because that's the way we came up, and we're all for that. I love a district, maybe a kid moving into a district that you don't expect to be a big one. All about the kids owning pride in their school because it starts to build that school pride, which is what it's all all about. But I mean, we do. You're right, Kenny. We got to get more legislation. About the Teddy Bridgewater rule, 15,000. Start giving me the legislation. It's going to get better funding to the schools to keep these athletics going, so that they can be feeder systems for your public schools to the private, if that's even what you need to sell it as.
And Kenny, you know, people aren't moving into the King neighborhood. You know, and I had two coach friends that were King coaches, and they had to step away. But they brought their kids over here, and they'd won their district in football with 3 wins. And I said, bring them over. We're going to celebrate them, you know. And there was even a nauseating Tampa Bay Times writer who said they don't deserve to be recognized or make the playoffs when they only had 3 wins. Hey, you set the rules. They won their district. They came across. They won. They almost had full pads on. They came over, these 6 kids, and 3 of them had never been across that bridge.
Yeah.
That gives you an indication of the plight in that particular school's neighborhood, and I applaud those coaches. But
Yeah.
they're never going to be competitive with the Armwoods or the Jesuits or the Tampa Catholics.
Yeah, and I praise all the coaches, because we really care about the kids. We want to see them succeed, and that goes back to the book. You know, we're trying to give them the information. We're giving information so you can get your child into college. The coaches care about the kids. They love winning, but Teddy Bridgewater was feeding those kids. He was taking those kids up for rides. He was taking them to places they've never been, like you're doing. When you bring those kids over the bridge. Man, it's a sad situation. You know, the coaches care about the kids. That's the bottom line. They want to see the kids have success, do things in life that they've never done, break that cycle. It's costing us, you know, it's costing guys their value. Just said he had to do what he had to do, but thank God that was it.
And that's the example being set. Because, I mean, that's one thing that translates from private to public, public to private to religious school. It's because you care about the kids. And that's what and at the end of the day, that's what we're all talking about here. That's the difference that needs to be made. And that's why we might sound like we're getting on a soapbox. But at the end of the day, no, we're just making sure we're trying to get everybody that chance.
We need to be on the soapbox.
No, because
And we've got one of their own right in house with us, a young man that went back to his alma mater because he wanted to give back to the school, and now it sounds like they're taking it back.
They're making it hard.
They're taking it back.
It's hard, and you know, I get emails all the time. They want us to go out and get this training so that way we can drive these little 15-person passenger vans because we can't get buses, and so now I have to take a training to not get paid to drive around my own.
Hey, but
kids.
that'll be your side hustle.
Well, no, but, yeah, I'll get my CDL. If they'll pay for my CDL, I'll go take the training.
But you're not going to get overtime to do it.
But I'm not going to to get paid to do it. That's right. I'm going to owe
the
the
only
school money.
Uber guy that has his own bus, but it says Seminole High on the side.
Well, I did that same thing when I was at Bishop McLaughlin. They wanted me to go out and get my CDL so I could drive the van, so I could drive my players around. So I know what Coach is talking about. I've been there, done that. When I was at Bishop, I paid out of my own pocket.
Hey, we like to talk about, positive perspective in sport, and I recommend everybody to pick up a copy of 30 Days to Play College Football in the world of recruiting. The only problem I have with this book, Kenny,
What's that?
is you got to do homework. I could never get through it.
Yes, you do. Hey, I made the chapters short, and then I left some space for you to take notes.
Look, guys,
you got to do some work.
you got to do homework, man.
Well, Mike, you said it was just because there's not enough pictures, and you're a pictures guy, not a reader.
Well, he went to Wisconsin. I went to Western Kentucky. They didn't give a damn if you could read or write. Just how fast can you run?
But I really appreciate you guys pushing the book, man. It's got, like I said, it's 30 days to play college football, but it could be 30 days to play college basketball, hockey, lacrosse, horse racing, whatever it might be. It's an educational book to help you get to where you're trying to go. And I always talk about making that 7% club. We talk about it all the time. 1 million high school kids graduate every year, but a very small percentage of those kids get a chance to play Division I football, or any sport. So what are you going to do to get yourself in there? And those are some of the things that you need to do to have some success. I really appreciate you guys pushing that. You can find that on Amazon. Just type in 30 Days to Play College Football, and the book will pop up. $24, dirt cheap. We're just trying to sell knowledge.
Coach, when you win your next flag championship, which will be soon. Why don't you bring the boys down here on a Saturday and sit in with us? We'll have some fun.
Oh, that would be awesome. They would love it because I'm tired of taking them to the bowling alley after they win.
Hey, wait, we got a bowling
Yo,
coach. We
yeah,
got a bowling coach.
But he's not going to get overtime, but
He
he'll
doesn't
coach.
know how to.
Oh,
He doesn't know how to
no.
bowl, but he's the bowling coach.
I learned the rules. I figured it out. It took me a couple years, but I'm there now. I'm locked in. I'm
Hey,
ready
the
to rock and
computer
roll.
keeps score, so it's all
It
it's
certainly
all
does.
it's
It
breeze.
saves me
Yeah.
a lot of hassle.
He's Kenny Steele Sr. Thank you, brother, for taking a little time out of your day.
You guys want to talk about the IMG story, or you ran out of
Oh
time?
yeah. Real quick, let's talk about that because that sickened me when I saw what happened, and I'm sure you, as one of the initial guys down there at IMG, just were dumbfounded.
Yeah, it was shocking. I reached out to some guys down there to kind of see what's going on, and IMG got they bought out NCSA. They own a lot of different properties, and they've been bought out a few times. And when I was there, we had a lot of young men that just wanted the parents from them brand and the five principles. It's tough. It's a tough situation. A lot of those kids weren't great athletes. But their parents, what they were doing, the part of the country they were in, and we would see that. And I ended up being the head coach of the local team here, and trying to guide some of those kids and meeting some of their parents. And it was a different situation for sure. It's not all about football down there, and it's catching up to them. This isn't the first time that they've been in the news for something, and it's a tough situation. I love the guys that are down there because they care about the kids, but it's a big time business. It's $1 billion business, and those kind of things will happen.
Well, unfortunately, it brings to a head the conversations about the haves and the have-nots, and we'll continue that. Yeah, I want you to bring the boys down with their championship trophy, and we'll buy them Ferg's bite to eat and a couple coldies for you.
That'd be awesome. I look forward to it.
All right. He's Ken Steele Sr. Hey, where can they pick up the book?
They can go to Amazon. Go to Amazon.com and just type in 30 days to play college football. It'll pop up right there. Boom. Get it. All good to go.
Thank you, my man. At Ken Steele Sr. And what a family tree that this young man has. Hey, now we're going to let Alex Reba's trying to come join us, and we'll talk some college hoops. I'm sure he's going to want to talk a little
March Sadness.
March Sadness. You're going to get on Hard Rock Bets. I know you don't like basketball.
Oh, I'm not going to put $1, not even a dime on
What the hell is wrong
Mike.
with you?
It's basketball. It's yeah.
Can we talk about the fact that even pixelated Alex Reeve is so much better looking than Ben or I? Or is it just me? And the guy's smarter too. It's just not fair.
Well, don't minimize my Benny boy. But you, my friend, no. Alex Reba is kind enough to join us, and of course he wants to talk March Madness right around the corner. Wants to talk a little USF Bulls, I'm sure, because they're having a hell of a season. And are you going to do a little work with the Rays again this year?
Unfortunately, no. MLB has changed their policies on internal data capture for all those advanced stats and metrics like Kinatrax and Hawkeye, and so now it's all being done through the companies that the systems that the Rays and all the other teams use. So it'd be a completely virtual job, and unfortunately, the Rays job is no more. It's a sad day.
And there's so much more money to be made now with every bit of data and
He didn't make a
analytic,
damn
right?
dime
No,
doing
he
it.
didn't. But the Major League Baseball is going to keep it all in house. And why
Well,
would they want to genius? Go ahead, Alex.
No, it's actually a pretty interesting situation because I think they're doing this as part of the kind of, the ongoing conversation about leveling the playing field for all these teams because of the disparity in resources. And obviously, I know you guys have been having ongoing conversations, as has everyone, about the looming lockout and the potential for a salary cap or a salary floor, whatever changes to, enhance the competitive balance in Major League Baseball. And I think this is one of the earlier adoptions that baseball can get behind and that the Players Association can get behind because it's really no skin off their back. If every team has the same access to the resources and operates in the same way, it benefits everyone in that regard. But it will kind of I think potentially hurt teams like the Rays, who were so much on the forefront of advanced data analytics and capturing that kind of stuff and employing people like myself to try to track that all the way from the majors to the single A, the Florida League, all of that
And
stuff.
Alex, I was going to say that very same thing, is that all 30 teams are buying into the fact that the data don't lie, and that only makes the task that Eric Neander and this organization have to continue to keep the success and the secret recipe they've been using. And of course, you were part of that secret recipe, the analytics team that they had hired you. So great first question, Mike. But go ahead, take it away. I apologize.
Well, I'm going to turn it over to Ben with the question.
Yes.
But we're brought to you. You're listening and watching the Tampa St. Pete Sports Connection's new video stream, and of course, it's on YouTube and Facebook. We'll be on TikTok and Instagram, and Adam Fernandez is doing a superb job along with our support team down here at Ferg Sports Bar and Grill, 13th and Central, where tomorrow, 8:10 a.m., it'll be the United States of America taking on our young interns, Canada, and actually breakfast at Ferg's. And it's at 8:10 tomorrow, so we're looking forward to it.
2 eggs scrambled. I'll take bacon.
Get your orders in now.
some
I
toast.
guarantee you.
Will there be mimosas or Bloody Marys? Because you can legally do that before the 10 a.m. in St.
Yes
Pete.
to both.
Then I'm here. I'm in.
Well, we'll make our own.
Oh, there you go.
Alex, you should walk over.
Alex, we're gonna be at Alex's house next door.
I'm on the road for college basketball. I wasn't anticipating the Olympic schedule.
Like
when
I
made
said,
this
we're
plan.
gonna be next door to Alex's.
Alex, leave the key under the mat. I'll lock up. I'll sweep. I'll do whatever you need. All right.
We're brought to you.
My-
We're brought to you by Body Armor Coca-Cola. This conversation, Ice Pick Vodka, Sea Dogs Brewery, and OnePriceSwipes.com. And where are you at?
I'm in New Orleans. I can see the Superdome from my hotel room right now.
Now, wait a minute. You mentioned in a text something about a timeshare?
No, I'm not. So, long story
Timeshare in
short,
New Orleans? What the hell?
no, I'm not buying a timeshare. I got a call from one of the timeshare companies. You get a discounted room if you sit through a 2-hour timeshare presentation.
Oh, okay.
I like to think I have the strong enough will to decline them for 2 hours and take a free room. And then we're going to a top 25 matchup between Alabama and LSU later today. So excited for that. And then Tulane Rice tomorrow.
Was it you and Shia LaBeouf hanging out over there? Is that why you got
No,
upset? He got sucked into a timeshare?
No, I'm here after Mardi Gras. I'm here in the wake of Mardi Gras. I was not here for Mardi Gras, unfortunately. Just missed it.
All right, so you take us any direction you want on the college scene from a basketball perspective.
Yeah, I mean, this is a tough day to be on the road because it's such a great day for college basketball. I mean, we have 2 top 5 matchups in college basketball on the same day. I don't know how often that's happened in the history of the sport, but you have Michigan versus Duke in a weird non-con game. I'm not thrilled about the way that college basketball is adopting all these non-conference neutral site games in the middle of February.
Especially this time of year, yeah.
Yeah, it feels like it's against the spirit. I have no problem with it in December. I enjoy it at Feast Week and all the MTEs and going to the Bahamas. And, I don't like the Players Invitational in Vegas, but that's a whole nother tangent to get on. But I do think it kind of dilutes the sport. And obviously we've diluted the conferences so much to begin with that, we're playing, Cal versus Miami as an ACC game. But now we're not even playing ACC games in February. So that's a little weird. But also the basketball sicko in me wants to see Duke and Michigan play more than just in the tournament potentially. So I am very much looking forward to that. I just hope we get a good crowd. It also feels weird college game days there. I feel like that's kind of against the spirit of college game day. You kind of want to be on, the campus, be in the real environment. So, being at the Wizards arena, which I saw tickets to get in for the Wizards game last night were like $10, and tickets to get into the Duke game today were about $320. So quite a disparity there for the college versus pros, which is pretty surprising. And then on the other side, in a true conference matchup, the one I should have led with, honestly, we got Houston versus Arizona, and that is a phenomenal matchup. I actually did look at going to that game today. Tickets were just a little bit out of my price range, I felt like. But man, that Arizona team, they start multiple freshmen. They played so great all throughout the season. They started the year like 24-0. Then the past 2 games, Koa Pete's been injured. they've showed their cracks a little bit. I mean, anyone will show their cracks if they do a visit on the road to Fog Allen, and play the Jayhawks, who were without their top scorer, Darren Peterson, which has also been a very fascinating story in college basketball. But they have a really strong team. Bill Self seems like he's finally put together a nucleus with that group. And even without Darren Peterson half the time, they're starting to play really good basketball. But that Houston team's
load management. What BS?
Yeah. If you want to
Absolute
use the dreaded term, it seems to have reached college basketball.
Explain
which
that
is,
to our audience, and then Ray's got a question. Explain load management, and now that it has trickled down into the collegiate environment, it makes me puke.
I mean, it's honestly not surprising because, from every level of youth basketball to high school to college, these guys emulate the pros. And what we've seen out of the last decade in the Professional Basketball Association is guys manage their minutes. They're playing 81 games. They're concerned about recurring injuries, about the workload of an NBA season going all the way to June and July for the playoffs. And there has been a strong push in the league to prioritize keeping these guys healthy and rested for the playoffs. But now we have all these NIL deals and all this money to be made. And now we have guys who are managing their minutes in college basketball, inexplicably. And this guy is projected to be the number one pick in the NBA draft, potentially maybe 1, 2, 3, somewhere around there. But he's one of the purest scorers you can see in college basketball. He's been phenomenal. But he just hasn't played, and no one can really understand why. And the only attribution people are giving is the guy's managing his minutes because he doesn't want to get hurt. He doesn't want to, he's had some hamstring injuries that have been nagging throughout the year, but nothing that would explain why in a top 5 matchup at Fog Allen on Big Monday, why he's not playing. So it's been a really strange situation in college basketball and something to keep monitoring with this Kansas team, who has been really good when they played their best basketball.
Hey, Alex, can I ask you a question? Because I work it back to you talking about the Arizona and Houston matchup today. And, of course, the sexier one for the non-person who doesn't understand the conference matchup there is the Michigan and the Duke. But you talk about those non-con games coming in, and before you even get to March Madness, which happens in like 5 minutes, does that feel like it's the NCAA's kind of taking advantage or trying to scoop up? We just saw the most successful college playoff football end for the season. Are they doing that, trying to catch a little bit of that, lining things up, getting a little spicy before they do the seeding for the 64-team March Madness? And is there any chance that backfires, or does it not matter because once they seat those 64, it's just go?
It's just another money play. It's the Edward Jones Capital Showdown is what it's being marketed as. It's like how we saw at Georgia Tech and Georgia, which has the old-fashioned hate nickname. That moniker was gone, and now it's the Invesco QQQ Georgia Bowl that we saw played at the Atlanta Stadium. Yeah, it's late stage capitalism at its finest. It's more money in the pockets of these athletes and these schools, which, if you ask certain people, they'll say that's great because, these kids are finally getting paid and they're finally, being able to profit off of their name, image, and likeness. But if you ask a lot of people like myself and anyone who does genuinely care about the sport, it dilutes it a little bit. And yeah, I want to see classic Big East basketball. You want to talk about a great game we saw this week. Creighton, they go in. They've had a very difficult season this year. They lost a lot of guys in the portal.
How about the storyline?
Yeah, they had a player on there. I'm forgetting his name. They had a player on their team whose parent passed away. Do you know the name, Mike?
Jake Koch.
And they go out and they rally as a team.
His mother passed away.
His mother passed away. They go out, they rally as a team, and they go in to Storrs, Connecticut, one of the toughest environments in college basketball, and they beat Dan Hurley's team, who hadn't lost at home all season. And Creighton, it's been an up and down year for them, but just credit to them for putting it together when they needed to. And you just that's the kind of storylines we want to see in college basketball. We want to see St. John's at the Garden hosting Villanova, or I believe they have I forget who they have today. It might be Creighton, actually. I think it might be Creighton.
It is Creighton.
So we want to see those games. We want to see Duke UNC with that incredible environment that we got. We got that game-winning shot a couple weeks ago. It's just again, I want to see Michigan and Duke play. But if you're playing it at a neutral site, you're taking the home environment, you're taking the crowd out of it, you're putting just these high level people with their pockets lined in DC who can go out and afford to pay a $300 ticket to see Duke and Michigan. That's against the spirit of college athletics. So that is it's a bit of a disappointment, and it's probably the way we're going to keep going. But who knows?
one thing I wanted to pass to our foremost expert in college basketball, and of course, Iowa Hawkeye, Iowa to the and John's is as closer to March Madness. I think people don't realize, and as Elite Eight, you get to that point, or even the Sweet 16, you're going to have a lot of one-point games back and forth, and the way they're calling games these days, there's a lot of touch falls for one-on-ones. I just do not understand. It nauseates me that these guys that can shoot in the 40% range anywhere and drop them on the floor, at Hilton Coliseum or wherever they're playing, at the Garden, they can't make free throws. I just think, I'm old school. I think it's a discipline factor. I don't understand why a Pitino wouldn't be more adamant because it's going to bite him in the ass, as they say.
No, 100%. I mean, whenever I sit down to make my bracket every year, there's a couple things that I look for in a team. I obviously look at, how they played in their non-con schedule. I look at how they fare in late game situations. But two of the most important things to me are free throw percentage and veteran guard play. You need to have guys who aren't going to panic when it gets late, when you're in a neutral environment, when you got the crowd surging on the other side because maybe you just gave up an 8-0 run. And you got to get to the line, and you get those easy points, and you got guys who can knock them down. And usually it's going to be the guards that are going to be the ones that have to have the ball in their hands and take those shots. So yes, I completely agree with you. I mean, that's kind of the beauty of college basketball is there are so many teams that are ineffective at shooting free throws, and you can kind of weed your way out. But the beauty of the college basketball tournament that we get in March Madness is it's pretty hard to win 6 straight games if you don't shoot your free throws well, because it's probably going to bite you in the butt. And like you said, Pitino's team, and I look at it with Michigan State too, some of these teams that just don't have go-to scorers that aren't built around shooting volume, I mean, anyone that's my Bulls, the USF Bulls, they play like an NBA team. They try to get 100 on you. They try to run and gun, and they shoot the three more than anybody. And sometimes that's going to bite you because you're not going to have that shooting night. And how can you win? Can you find ways to win when that shooting, when those buckets aren't going down, when you're not making your free throws? And that's the sign of a truly great team. And that's a sign of, like, when we saw that UConn team win by 20 every game in the tournament, is there a team like that in college basketball right now? Probably not. But can you find those teams that have shown flashes of that and their ability to win whenever their shooting isn't at a high volume? And if you're a bad free throw shooting team throughout the year, it's pretty hard to trust you in March.
Well, and Iowa State early in the season was blowing people out, so it really wasn't that noticeable. People weren't that concerned about it. But you've seen some of the games they played of late. I mean, they're very tight. And as you mentioned, Arizona, and you got BYU and Kansas. I mean, Big 12's loaded.
Big 12 is by far the best college basketball conference in America right now. I firmly believe that. I'm actually a little suspect of this Iowa State team right now because, like we kind of said, there are like that TCU game that it felt like a game they should have been able to put away. And I know it was on the road.
Absolutely.
And I know it's on the road, and I always toss out road losses if they're close because you kind of are expected to lose if you're playing a good team on the road. That's kind of one of my core tenets in college basketball. Like, good teams just win at home in college basketball, and that's why we never see Kansas lose. That's why we never see Duke lose at Cameron. Like, and when you do win on the road, especially in a hostile environment, that really impresses me. But that Iowa State team, I mean, they played a phenomenal team in Houston, and Kingston Fleming is one of the best freshman guards in the country too, and he is an absolute bucket. I mean, we're talking about Darren Peterson, we're talking about Kingston Fleming's Carlos Boozer's son, Cameron Boozer. Those are 3 guys that are creating an NBA tanking controversy alone because they're so talented, and so many teams in the NBA want these guys on their team. So I give a lot of credit to Iowa State for hanging tough, for hitting some big shots in that game as well, and winning, but I think that Hilton Magic played a big part in that as well.
No doubt about it, and both teams play incredible defense. But let's switch locally here. Let's talk and I know you're a huge fan, USF Bulls. Let's talk a little bit about their season.
They have been phenomenal. They were picked second in the preseason polls behind Memphis, and Memphis just came to town on Thursday.
What the hell happened to Penny in that gang?
You know, Penny's kind of made a living of great regular season teams that haven't had success in the tournament. They've kind of fallen apart when they've gone up against, you know, teams that are considered to be their equals once they've gotten out of the American. And this season, they just haven't gotten going at all. They let PJ Haggerty, their top scorer from last year, walk, and he's now in the Big 12 of all conferences. But this team just doesn't really play connected basketball. They go in really, you know, soft shooting stretches where they fall behind. They're not a great defensive team, and the Bulls exploited them. And the Bulls got the YC, the Yuengling Center, rocking on Thursday. Coach Hodgson's done a great job in his first season getting the fan base behind him. You know, they were really looking for someone to invest in after the tragic passing of their previous guy, Amir Abdur-Rahim, who really did turn the program around, and who I think a lot of this momentum can be attributed to, because USF sports is in a really good place, as we saw with the football team, you know, vying for a potential playoff spot last year, bringing in the Tampa Sports Authority's former president to be their GM and to run the athletic department, and then a great hire in a guy who almost had this Arkansas State team knocking on the door of a March Madness berth last season, and he brought a lot of guys over. And Isaiah Nelson, one of the best players in the country. I'm surprised there's not more NBA draft buzz around him, because he's got a 6'10" frame. He can step back and shoot it from three. He's got over 40 steals and 40 blocks. I think he's the only guy in the country with those kinds of numbers. And they got scoring. Wes Enos has, I think, second in the country in 3 points made. I mean, they have a lot of talent. One of their maybe biggest flaws you need to look out for, though, they play at such a high tempo. They kind of get out of control, and they can fall behind, and they can turn the ball over. And can they, in a hostile environment, keep their composure? That's one of the concerns I've had about them. I saw them lose a game at Temple in person where they had these spurts where they got over their skis. And if they can do what they did against Memphis throughout the rest of the season, I think they can potentially win the American, get that semifinal spot in the conference tournament, win 2 games, and then punch their ticket to March, which would be very exciting for the Tampa Bay region.
Well, before we let you go, the most important question, since you are down in New Orleans, is have you been to Pat O'Brien's and got your lovely girlfriend a hurricane yet?
This is a solo trip, so Rachel did not want to come for the college basketball tour this time. I have not. I got in late last night, so I have not made it out past the hotel room. I will try to head over to Pat O'Brien's maybe tomorrow after the Tulane game. You
got to have a hurricane. It'll knock you on your
He's
ass.
he's on his own. He's living the dream like all the way. He's on his own. He's in New Orleans. He's going to go have a hurricane.
You don't know
Forget
Alex.
about it. Alex.
He's got the perfect woman.
I want to ask Alex, can I look at when you do your brackets for March Madness, can I just like let me look at it for 30 seconds just so I can get enough picks that I have a shot to get past this couple of rounds?
I don't want 30 seconds. I want
the whole thing.
I want pictures of all of it, because I'm going to get. And then Ben's gonna gamble this year in March Madness.
Basketball?
Yeah.
I'll pick the one with the prettiest uniform, huh?
No. Hey, also, how was it last week? I've got different opinions on FanFest. You guys went to the FanFest last Saturday. How was it?
Oh, we had a great time. I mean, it's great to be back at the Trop, you know, right downtown, right across from Ferg's. There's nothing better. It was cool to see all the people that showed up. It felt like there was a great turnout. It felt like there was a palpable buzz for the team coming back. I know it's going to be a tough American League East this year. I know we don't necessarily have the horses in the lineup that we've typically had. It stinks seeing Brandon Lau in a different uniform and Josh Lowe and so many guys that have played such a important part in the success of previous seasons. But I think we got a lot of young talent on this team. Obviously, we have a superstar in Junior Caminero. You're hoping that guys like Carson Williams can take the next step. You're hoping Yanni Diaz is still the consummate veteran that he's always been throughout his career. You have some guys fighting for playing time in the outfield. And like it's always said, Rays baseball, it comes down to their pitching. They're going to try to win games 4-2, 4-3. And use the confines of the Trop to their advantage. So FanFest was great. It's got me ready for spring training and ready to get back on the diamond.
Thank you very much, Alex Rebo, as always, for providing your insight. Looking forward to March Madness. Looking forward to getting you back in the studio. Be safe there in New Orleans, and limit yourself to one hurricane. Take it from an expert back in the day.
Hopefully they're open at 8 a.m. for Team USA tomorrow. They
They
that
will.
could be a good spot.
Yeah, we'll talk about that next week too. Thanks, my
Let's
man.
go, boys. Go USA. Have a good one.
Alex Reba, he does a superb job, and now we're going to get Wyatt Ross on to talk a little hockey. And I just got a confirmation. Aresti Estrada will join us at right about noon, so you can talk a little baseball, my man.
Boom.
I'm excited.
You are going to get involved in March Madness.
Mike, it's just the slam dunks and the
Who
alley-oops.
cares? It's a money thing.
I just can't get over it. It's just so exciting.
My mother participated in.
I love all the fouls and the dribbling, and it's just such a great.
Are we talking
sport.
about basketball or your love life? Wait, hold on a minute here. Let's go ahead. I want to talk with Wade. Let's go.
My mother got a bracket every year and didn't watch a damn thing and had a blast.
I'll get into highlight. I'll get into water polo. I'll get into anything other than
curling.
basketball.
That's
Curling,
just
sure.
that's
there
just
for
your
me.
hard ass Irish and Italian. I don't like basketball.
All right,
position.
I'll watch bocce ball. How about that? We're talking
Punto da
Italian, I'll
bocce.
go do
Yeah,
that.
see.
I'll go to the bocce club down the road.
Hey, we got to hurry up and get Wyatt Ross in here so we can get Aresti Estrada too. He's on with us right now. He's our bolts expert. But right now we're talking. And can you see my USA hat right here? I don't think you can.
I don't see the USA hat, but I believe
it
you
is.
guys.
There we
down
go.
There.
There you go.
There we go. I see it now.
Well, Wyatt, and we got a Canadian in the house too. So be nice to her. She's a kind young lady, but you don't have to be too kind when you talk about Canada and the U.S.
He's still going scorched earth.
I love it.
Absolutely, it's hockey, baby.
Whoa.
We already got a W on the women's side, so let's talk about that, and then we'll talk about the men tomorrow at 8:10, my man.
Yeah, I mean we're 1 for 1 so far in gold medal matchups versus Canada. So much for hockey being a Canadian sport anymore. We're already at least going to get 50%. Looking forward to 100% here. And I just want to talk about that game a little bit because it just looked like when we went down early in that second period, we were kind of obviously playing from behind all game on the scoreboard, but it just looked like we were playing from behind all game until that huge tip in from Hillary Knight. I mean, who better to send it to overtime? And then Megan Keller, I mean, what a move on that defenseman. I know that
Which one of them has the crazy brothers?
Is that Clay? Are you talking about Clayton Keller, who plays for Utah? I believe he's related to Megan Keller.
No, there's three brothers. She's got three brothers. I can't think of her name. The gal that scored in regulation.
Oh, that's right, Hillary Knight. It was Hillary Knight's brothers. I do remember that on the broadcast.
Oh yeah, the
now.
family picture.
They're
The three
nuts.
brothers,
It
and
was
she's the
Hillary Knight's
youngest,
Yeah,
which means that's why
they're
she's so
abso-
tough.
They're absolutely crazy. But
Yeah.
go ahead.
I just want to talk about. I mean, I honestly, it's hard to feel bad for Canada in hockey, but I feel bad for that defenseman who just got absolutely undressed on the ice by
Defensewoman.
Megan Keller in the overtime. I mean, what a move! And then the backhander under the pad to win the game. I don't think they could have scripted that any better. A USA win in overtime. Whole bench goes crazy. And Frankel, the goalie, I mean, what a game from her. What a tournament from her. All tournament only let in 2 goals. I mean, that is just incredible. And I do believe that she is widely regarded as the Andre Vasilevsky of women's hockey. But when you play in 7 games and you only allow 2 goals at the highest stage of hockey, you've got to be another breed.
Hey, Wyatt, can I ask you a question? Because you so succinctly put it with the Megan Keller, the overtime, the way Hillary got it with she bounces it in on a tip, which is exactly, and scores the 15th goal, the number 1 goal scorer in all of USA hockey in history. And the way it's set up, the way they go to overtime, and you're like, okay, well, first of all, Canada gets the power play, and then we go empty net with 2 minutes to play. So many people who haven't watched women's USA hockey or women's hockey didn't even pulling a goalie 2 minutes. Did all of that excitement, and I'm leading into this game tomorrow morning at 8:10 versus, the United States versus Canada, in a game that the United States are a bit of an underdog, let's be honest here. Did all that excitement, did that get our team instill confidence and more excitement into this, or could tomorrow
For national pride,
or could tomorrow, are we going to see a better game, you think, or are we going to see a game that's just, almost?
Well, I think that it could have been a 10-0 loss in the women's game either way for the
Hey,
U.S.
Tristan,
or Canada, and I think we
Give
would
me
have had
that
a
U.S.
great.
flag over there, will you?
I think we would have had a great men's final just because of how much hate there is. It could have been Slovakia versus Sweden in the women's tournament, and I still think we would have gotten a great game. However, I do believe that seeing the USA women's team getting to celebrate and getting to see the Canadian tears, I do believe that might have lit a fire under some of the guys on the USA team, especially the Kachuk brothers. And I think that them watching that game is just making them yearn for it even more.
I think I just lost an intern.
Melina, come back. But wait, Wyatt, you said though, does John Cooper? Because we know how John Cooper do, and John Cooper, the Lightning coach, is also the coach of Team Canada. Does he use that as a way to get Team Canada built up? Because he's like, okay, the USA, they just got this big thing. The women are celebrating. They want to make it. They want to do the Quinella, and you know he's going to use that. I mean, and I love what you said last week, Wyatt, about Kachuk, because we hated him so much going into the break, but good thing that Team USA has him. And, of course, he's the soundbite. They're running, getting ready for this game. Kachuk's going to have to come up big and nasty for the USA to really have a competitive shot to keep in this game late for against the Canadians tomorrow.
And what about Crosby? Is he going to be ready to be captain?
I have not heard anything about Crosby yet, but I can say that, and I saw somewhere that they're saying it looks like it could be an MCL, but then I heard it was day-to-day. So I don't know if they're just trying to play mind games with the USA, because obviously his presence is going to be a very big difference. But if it is mind games and he is out for an MCL, I'll divert to the NHL season, and I'll tell you right now the Pittsburgh Penguins season is over if Sidney Crosby's out.
MCL. Well, no, and Wyatt, the thing is, like, and the trouble they almost had not getting out of that semifinal game yesterday. So,
oh man, yeah.
I mean, if it was a head game play and it ends up being that way, then that's probably a masterclass of John Cooper.
Well, we
and the
got
way
John
he coaches.
Cooper as the Canadian coach. I mean, he's one Stanley Cup away from arguably the best coach of all time.
Yeah.
So I think I would not put that beyond him.
My
to
big
do
question here, Wyatt, and I'll hold you against it. I'm going to be placing a wager with Melina here. Am I safe with a USA win tomorrow?
Tony Kornheiser.
The USA win. Well, I got the hat on for a reason. And I do want to mention, I still do have the lucky hat here. I didn't know.
Yeah,
if you
don't
guys
get
were
rid of the
happy to
lucky
see
hat.
that one. It's
Well,
right
wait
here.
a minute. The lucky hat could also represent John Cooper.
No. It's got the Tampa Bay Lightning logo on it, not John Cooper's face
Okay,
on
brother.
it. So
All right,
we're,
there you go.
we're
There
representing
you
the
go.
Bolts as always. But I think, watching that Sweden game, and I think a lot of people looked past Sweden in this tournament, including myself. I mean, you had Erik Karlsson, Victor Hedman, Ricard Raquel on that team, Mika Zibanejad on that team. That was a great team. Everybody's always talking USA, Canada, USA, Canada. Everybody was looking past Sweden. And Four Nations, they had a bit of a presence there. Obviously, the USA, Canada was a lot bigger. But they kind of came out in this Olympic tournament on fire because of that. I feel like they looked like they were very kind of swept under the rug. And I was not surprised to see that game go to overtime. And I think that I know a lot of people were saying, oh, you guys went to overtime against Sweden. Canada went to overtime against Czech right before it. And Czech's a very good team, but I don't think they're anywhere close to Sweden. I think if they do end up missing Crosby, I would say that this is a USA win. If Crosby comes back, I still think, Quinn Hughes on the blue line, we didn't have him in Four Nations last year, and he has made, obviously, such a difference this year, getting the OT winner against Sweden. I think just having him on the blue line is really going to help us out. Goaltending play has been great. Jordan Binnington doesn't look like a brick wall in the net like he did again in Four Nations. Jacob Slavin is playing just like he did in Four Nations, a great defensive defenseman. I think USA has everything they need to come out on top. But again, you're facing probably one of the greatest rosters ever assembled, headed by one of the greatest coaches of all time. So no one's going to be easy, but my money's got to go on the home team. I can never bet against the USA.
Oh, Wyatt, let me ask you, though. You're talking
If
about
the Canadians win, we've got to put up with it for a year since the Four Nations.
Next week, Melina's sitting right here, and she'll have the crown, and she'll have the Canadian flag, and Tony Kornheiser behind her waving it.
And we'll let you
But let me
boast about your upset.
Well, I want to ask though, Wyatt, because you already stated that there was no love lost for John Cooper. If somehow, it's all bets are off, it's USA. And you talked about that game that they gave. Something tells me that you would have had no love lost had Victor Hedman become the 32nd hockey player all time to get that Tri-Gold award, having the Stanley Cup, the IIHL Gold, and then getting the gold in the Olympics. So, I mean, was there even a part of you that was trying to offset it, thinking if they do pull it out, we have that to look forward to?
Absolutely not. I think
I
that
love it.
in the Olympics. In the Olympics,
Absolutely
if we did not get a USA Canada matchup in the Olympics, you could have just thrown the whole thing away.
It would've
I mean,
been huge.
that's what everybody's here for, right? I mean, everybody wants to see USA versus Canada. We were blessed with it in the women's game, and what a game that was, going to overtime.
The problem is
and I
we
think
got
it's
so
going to
many-
be a great game again.
We've got so many Canadians down here in Florida, it could be a long year.
Hey,
in the
I got a
event.
lot of
Round
friends
them
who
up.
would not stop talking about that Four Nations game, and I'm just saying,
Hey,
and I'm
you better watch it. She's pretty tough over here.
I'm just saying that
Hey.
if Crosby ends up not playing, that Four Nations game last year went to overtime. I know roster's a little bit different, but think about it this way: that was a 1-goal game. Now USA adds Quinn Hughes, Canada subtracts Sidney Crosby. Who do you think has the edge now in a 1-goal game?
Talking trash. There you go. Keep going, buddy. Keep going.
I will talk a little bit of trash to the Olympics. I think they might have messed up their AMs versus PMs. Why do we got USA versus Canada
Right.
8 a.m.?
And-
I mean,
and
I
the-
understand. I understand it's like 2:00 their time. I
Right.
believe is what it is. But I mean, come on. I mean, I'm gonna have to set an alarm to wake up for this game on
I
a
know,
Sunday
you-
morning.
You,
Right, you're right.
You get up at 11:42 on Saturday.
Well, here's the thing,
I just
Wyatt.
rolled out of bed. I threw this hoodie on. I came on the show. I'm gonna have to set an alarm 4 hours earlier. You're telling
Well,
me?
Wyatt, and the backward part about it is the game this week, all the games have been 1:30 because it's 7:30 Italy time, and that would have been a perfect 1:30 start tomorrow, but actually
Yeah, like a
because of the
Sunday afternoon matinee.
Well, wait, because of the closing ceremonies tomorrow, so they had to move it up so the IOC chairman gets to catch his plane home or whatever. Make it 1:30 for us, 7:00 Italy time. But no, that's the reason why. Because the irony is, the other games during the week we had to take off of school and work to catch those games because they were 1:30 starts.
Yeah, like I mean, I'll be honest. I didn't even get to see half of the games that the USA men's and women's teams were playing because I was still in school. I didn't get to see. I saw the Sweden game. I didn't get to see any of the semifinal
you, a
game.
ju-
Obviously,
are
I
you-
didn't
are
miss
you a
much
ju-
of the.
Are you a junior in high school now?
I'm a senior in high school now. I skipped my junior year.
Well, nobody says anything. It's fantastic.
We got
That's
some.
what that's
We got
the-
some brainiacs. I mean, I think Jake did the same thing. Oh, Jake!
skip-
hey,
Jake
you got to
skipped
meet
2
Jake.
years.
Jake skipped 2 years.
I quit
Mike,
school.
you need
Mike,
to go back for a fifth year.
Yeah, I got kicked out.
I quit my sophomore year.
I
Does
got
that-
kicked out in my junior year. I had to get a GED.
What's that?
Does that count?
Yeah,
All
we
right.
got that.
All right, Wyatt. Do you want a wake up call from the old man tomorrow?
I might need it honestly. I think I'm gonna be rolling out of bed right onto the TV to catch that 8:00 start.
Well, I just saw the Molina was writing down your phone number. So if Canada wins, she can call you and pimp the hell out of you.
There is actually one more thing I do want to point out though, is the Lightning players at the Olympics. I want you guys to guess. I don't know if you guys have the stats down. I want you to guess who the top 2 scoring Lightning players are at this year's Olympics.
You're the expert.
Zemgus Girgensons and J.J. Moser both have 4 points in the Olympics. J.J. Moser not as much as a surprise, but Zemgus Girgensons with 4 assists in the Olympics right now representing the Tampa Bay Lightning. He's over Victor Hedman. He's got more points than Jake Gensel, more points than Brandon Hagel, more points than Oliver Bjorkstrand. Maybe we see a Zemgus Girgensons resurgence coming into the halfway mark of the NHL season.
Speaking of Jake Gensel, he's been a kind of an MIA guy here in the Olympics. We're gonna hear from him tomorrow against the Canadians.
He did have a pretty big goal, but
he did.
after that it's been just about nothing from him. Same thing with almost Brandon Hagel for Canada, but I think Brandon Hagel wasn't really expected to have such a big role playing the third line for Canada as much as Jake Gensel was supposed to have a big role for USA. And I think there's one thing about Jake Gensel is he doesn't disappear in the playoffs, so he does not run away from the spotlight. I can definitely, I'm not gonna predict it, but I can definitely see a Jake Gensel goal tomorrow. I would not be surprised by that.
Sounds like a prediction to me.
All right, Wyatt, we got a rock and roll. We got baseball royalty waiting for us next, but go USA to my little Canadian intern to my right, and I'll call you about 8:15 to 7:15 to get you up so you can have a nice breakfast and get ready to roll.
Oh no, I'm rolling out at 8:00. 7:15. You're going straight to voicemail.
Go USA! All right, baby.
Go USA! Can't wait for tomorrow morning.
Thanks, Wyatt. That's brought to you by our good friends at Body Armor, Coca-Cola Beverages, and of course, Ice Pick Vodka, Sea Dog Brewery. And now a gentleman that we love to have conversations with, Oresti Estrada, as I said, baseball royalty in the greater Tampa St. Pete area. Actually, baseball royalty, especially over in Japan. And he's kind enough to join us right now. How are you, brother?
Hey, don't forget South Florida, Mike. Don't forget South Florida.
I
New
forgot-
Orleans, baby.
I forgot the Marlins. You're a man of many hats.
That's where I felt.
Oh my gosh, and many cultures.
That's where I fell in love with you, 93, 94. Let me take some people back, because some of these Rays fans don't realize the Rays weren't even a team. 95 incepted, 98 they start. I was a Marlins fan. Of course, you started with the Yankees and then ended up being down there in 93, 94. I had a great chance to keep going down and watching you play, and then the following year, Kurt Abbott would join the team, and I'd follow them through. Did you play on this? Was Charlie Huff a Marlin when you were playing with them in 93, 94, I believe?
Charlie Huff was ever the Marlin, and like myself, Charlie, we were two of the guys that were raised in Miami. In fact, he trumped me because I was actually born in.
You were born where?
Cuba. He's frozen.
Yeah.
I'll stay until he comes in. He's going to come back in. Let me know when he comes back in. Born in Cuba, and I had a chance. That's the first time I saw Orestes play in person. Went down to watch Charlie Huff when he was pitching in Pro Player Park, or Underwear Stadium. Joe Robbie, the hottest stadium ever.
Underwear Stadium.
Well, that's where the Marlins played, out there. What is now Hard Rock Stadium, and that's why I wanted to ask Orestes. Of course, he's been talking on his Big O podcast, his Big O show, about playing at the Stein last year and the heat out there and how it compared to when he was playing. Let me tell you, I was down there watching Orestes play in 93 and 4. It was every bit as hot down there in Miami in that, because there was no air at all moving around.
They call it underwear because you're
well, Pro Player was the underwear. Fruit of the Loom was a brand, and Joe Robbie sold the naming rights, and it was an underwear stadium. You ever do this, Pro Player Park?
No, I didn't know that.
That's why you guys got me. I'm rolling with the knowledge.
That's why we have you, Raymond.
I thought you were saying underwear.
Hope we get Orestes back.
Yeah, I thought you were saying underwear because it's like the Hard Rock.
Oh, underwear right now? I don't wear any.
Off your back, like you lose everything.
Thanks for sharing. We just lost half of our audience.
You're gonna think of me with no underwear the rest of this show.
That's why it's an above the belt shot.
Hey, it's business above, it's party below. That's all I'm saying.
Shut the yapper. Oh my God, you're listening to the Tampa St. Pete Sports Connection, where we bring a positive perspective in sports, from the peewees to the preps to the pros.
Now I wonder, does Adam have the pictures? Could we put the pictures on screen of Orestes and myself about the same time that I was a big Orestes fan with the Marlins, a big Marlins fan, because again the Rays weren't even around yet. Joe Robbie or the Marlins were stolen by Wayne Huizenga, but you'll see the pictures, the comparison. Maybe you'll understand why Orestes might have been a favorite player of mine. I'm not going to say that maybe I wasn't trying to
Did you
pass
model
myself.
His game off of him?
Maybe if we get the pictures up, and if you can't do it, Adam, let me know. But if we get the pictures, you'll see that maybe if it comes up, it's gonna be. If it doesn't come up, I can't sell it, because I have nothing else to say about it. But again, going down there, and Charlie Huff pitched that knuckleball. That Charlie threw that knuckleball.
I love knuckleballers.
And no one threw it like Charlie Huff. And, of course, the guy was 103 years old at this point. Actually, he was 46, I think, in 94.
Hoyt Wilhelm, the Chicago White Sox, started he was the preeminent knuckleballer, wasn't he, Ben?
Oh, yeah, Hoyt Wilhelm. I actually have his card.
Who the hell is that?
That's me.
Look at your old man, Tristan.
Wait a minute. Now, let's get Orestes up.
That stash is something.
Are you sitting in your underwear down there?
It's not the stash. It's the eyebrows. You got to go between Orestes and myself, and you'll see that we have the
You got the porn star
I had
mustache.
the porn star mustache, but I was trying to pull off the Orestes Destrade eyebrows. I mean, he's a couple of years older than me, not much.
He's a hell of a lot better looking than you.
He is a lot, but he's a lot richer too, and he's a lot better ball player.
Well, I was a Yankees fan until I went to work for the Cubs, so at least you had a Yankees hat on.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, and let's go playing first base, Orestes. And I think it converted when in 13 years, I believe, he's with the Rays in your pre and post game coverage. Nobody did it like Big O.
No, he didn't. And the reason he stepped away, for people that wonder if there was something going on, there wasn't. What there was going on is he had some illness in his family. And he's such a great family man, whether it was his wife or his son. He stepped away from his career to take care of business, and that's why I applaud him very much.
Yeah, and it was immediate. I mean, all of a sudden, there's Big O's not there holding that ball, and for some reason, that's how you know he's thinking ball, and he does it still on the Big O show.
Yeah. I grew up watching him holding that.
And he does that on his Big O show on his FanStream Sports Network, and you're still getting that coverage. I didn't know at the time that's the reason why, but now I know why. Everybody, we all missed him immediately, but nobody questioned that it was above reproach. But we're still glad to have him here.
He was honest with me. I've got a good story about Orestes. My office used to be upstairs, and it was after a afternoon game, and I come down and there's Orestes, and he's standing over by the brand new golf simulator with this short Japanese man, and he goes, "Hey, Mikey, how you doing?" And it turns out he had the ambassador from Japan with him, and he was taking him to he was taking. Remember when you had the ambassador over here at Ferg's from Japan?
Sure, yeah, no doubt. I've had the ambassador come in a couple of times, but yeah, that was brought him over. He's actually the consul general for the state of Florida, and Nakai-san. He's since gone back to Tokyo. They have a new guy. I'm going to bring him over sometime this summer. But getting back real quick to the old Charlie Huff, because I heard your co-host there say Pro Park, but it was actually even before that. It was Joe Robbie Stadium, to be exact. that was before. That was the great Joe Robbie, who was one of those guys that actually built his own stadium. You know, guys like Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego, and those guys are true pioneers of building their own stadium and not even taking, but things were a little bit cheaper than $2 billion now. It's not as easy to build your own stadium, but that was a great memory. And Charlie threw out the first pitch to Jose Offerman, led Tommy Lasorda's Dodgers, and with Oral Hershiser, we beat them 5-3. I got the first double in Marlins history. Just missed the first home run by a couple of feet. And that's as close as I would have been to making it to the USA Cooperstown Hall of Fame, because the first home run for any expansion team, that bat makes it to the Hall of Fame. Benito Santiago ended up hitting a home run a few days later.
There's a catch of the race.
He got in there.
I'll tell you, and I was saying, Orestes, that having gone down there and watching you play and watching when Charlie Huff was pitching, that knuckleball that was going so slow it wasn't going to produce any breeze, and you guys were playing every bit. The heat down in Joe Robbie, the way that stadium was and it was configured, there wasn't a breeze.
So hot.
Yeah,
so hot.
Go ahead and go into how the Rays faced it last year at the Stein, and we still came through it. They're going to be back into climate control next year, but you played. There was some hot
this year, baby.
This year, I mean, yes.
Well, listen. Joe Robbie and Steinbrenner had to be hot too. Obviously, it was. I think it's a tad hotter as you go further south of here, so It was even hotter, I think. But regardless, we used to, have our batting practice and everything in shorts. We never, they let us kind of, loosen up a little bit, and sometimes we actually do it inside a lot, because it rained in the summer so much that you get rained out to be batting practice. But that 3:00 rain would come around and we play the games. This is a great opportunity to come back to the Trop. This is fantastic. The Trop is, no doubt, 1985. It's old and the whole thing. But what I've been telling everybody is that this is kind of like renewing your vows after being with somebody for 30 years. You get a chance to get back on that altar and kind of say, hey, I still love you, and you still love me. Yeah, I still love you. And you renew your vows. And I think the fandom and the team are going to kind of come together in that renewing of vows for this season, and obviously until they finally build that legacy stadium.
So you said renewing the vows. I'm hearing rebound sex, and both apply here. It's going to be a party. It's going to be a party in Tropicana Field this season.
What in the hell is wrong
the
with
old
you?
gray lady's got her top back on. She ain't taking it off again.
Oh,
what in the hell is wrong with you?
It's like a good argument. When you get a good argument, and you got to have that, that fixer up sex. You know what I mean? Make up.
What were you arguing over?
Well,
does
we
it
were
matter?
arguing over the hurricane. I think it was over the hurricane, honey.
She wanted to stay and he wanted to move.
Come on, you got Orestes Estrada right here, Ben. Do you got a question for Orestes? I know you do.
So we got spring training coming up, or actually it started right now. They're implementing the robot umpires. Personally, I can't stand it. I think it sterilizes the game of baseball. Same with the replay, the reviews, all these things. Do you see this as a detriment to Major League Baseball? Just something that's going to continue to build up going into 2027 season when we're talking about lockouts, the new collective bargaining agreement. Is this all going to come to a head? What do you foresee with that?
Firstly, what a breath of fresh air you are, young man, because there's not a whole lot of young people under 40 that feel the way you do. Not too many, because most it's Mike and myself that kind of are the old school, remembering the ways of like baseball being a sport that really was the umpires were about judgment, and you just trusted that judgment. And you learned umpires literally. When I played, and I got to play in both the American and National League, there was different types of umpires. And if it was a big, tall guy, he usually kind of called higher strike zone. If it was a shorter kind of, he would use a low ball, zone. And guys were in and out, and the pitchers pitched to the type of, oh, so and so's umpiring today. All right, so I got a wider zone. Oh, so and so, I got a tighter zone. I love that. Nevertheless, the ABA is interesting because thankfully it's not every pitch. We're not talking that, it's going to be some robotic umpire over there that in the sky that's calling every pitch. They only allow 2, challenges per game. Beyond that, if it goes into extra innings, each team gets an extra challenge per inning, because that's when the meat of the game is. When you go into extra innings, you want to make sure that you don't miss a pitch. So right now at the beginning, it's not overwhelming. Nevertheless, it is going to be a little weird. They have been doing it for the last, I want to say, 3 or 4 years in the minor leagues, and it's been somewhat of a success and gone seamlessly. As far as the reviews, I was anti-review initially. Then I remembered I was watching an old ESPN Classic game. If you ever get a chance, watch the old ESPN games. And then you realize how many camera angles we have now compared to a 1982, World Series game. And you're going, holy crap. They have so many camera angles that it does make sense if you could do it expediently. And sometimes it's not that expedient. But if you could do it with the, it makes sense. You get the call right. So I've leaned into that, and I'm becoming, another sheep that's falling right off the the wall, and following suit.
And I want to say that. Oh, I was going to say this. I love the fact that, like with Kevin Cash, the tap of the hat. It's not a showmanship. It's not Bill Belichick or Sean McVay running out and throwing a red flag down just for spite, right? Yeah. So I mean, you still keep it that way, but it does still go toward the traditionalists a little.
I'm a little nervous about the automatic balls and strikes, solely because, and this is something not a lot of people are talking about, the catching position. I think that this is going to be detrimental to having a good catcher. The skill that comes along with framing a pitch, really trying to steal a pitch or setting up and helping their pitchers. And I think it's going to start going down. It's going to go from the minor leagues down to the college, down to high school. And you're going to see this lack of skill at the catching position, because you're not going to need to be able to do that anymore if you have this automatic ball and strike.
Again, only if they're doing it on the, what the danger here, and you're making a valid point, is that what's the next level to it? It's kind of like AI. You're giving AI, a little bit of cushion, and wow, it's helping us so much. Yeah, wow, I can't live without ChatGPT. And then you look, 5 years ahead. Oh, wow, it's doing a little bit more. 10 years from now, and then it's a monster. So with this thing, is like, okay, you're allowing for 2 challenges. Who's to say that in 5 years, every single pitch, at that point, the catching becomes null and void, because he just has to put the mitt wherever, and then the machine, the robot is. I hope they never go to full automated calling balls and strikes. I think that would suck. But this adds a nice little nuance and a nice little kind of like, oh, we caught you there, that was a strike. Or even the pitcher has, the defense can also challenge a ball that's called, that could be overturned to a strike.
I know I've wanted that a few times as a pitcher. I feel like I've been cheated a few times, but I think that
you were a submariner.
I know, and I get it. Like, I understand all the reasons for wanting it. I just I'm afraid baseball is losing its magic. We have Rob Manfred. He's finding a way to leave his last little seal
Oh,
on the
Nelly,
game.
excuse me. What, Rob, man?
Rob
What was that?
Manfred.
He calls
Rob
him Manfred.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
And, you know, I'm not a big fan of his. You know, I was also not a big fan of Stuart Little Sternberg, the former owner of the Rays. You know, I want the Rays here in St. Petersburg, and now I'm losing it. I love the old gray lady. I love baseball in St. Petersburg. I don't want what's happening here. I can't let it go through. I'm going to chain myself to the old gray lady, and they're going to have to tear me down with it if they get rid of that thing.
Hey, Aresti, we're talking to Aresti Estrada, by the way, here on the Tampa St. Pete Sports Connection, live from Ferg Sports Bar and Grill. I just want to give you a little background of this youngster. He's only 27 years old. He's a coach at Seminole High School, where he played years ago, and then he went to Savannah State as a pitcher. But he also is a historian, so we love him because he's embedded into the game.
Love it.
And he blows Peter Gollenbach away. They sit down and talk, and Ben here can roll with the best of them. So, yeah, if he seems a little set in his ways for 27, that's because his Irish and Italian ass is definitely set in his ways.
But don't follow his bets. Don't follow his bets.
Hey, my bets ain't that
No,
bad.
no, no. I won't bet with him nor drink with him, but I will follow his.
That's smart.
Yeah, I mean, come on now. I was born tonight, but not last night. I like his thinking. I like his mindset. I think we need more of that in baseball. We need the convergence of old school meets new school. You can't deny new school, but there's some the purity, and by purity I mean the genuineness of because there's things that happen. Holy shit! You just had Tony Clark have what looks to be a very ugly scandal. So there's nothing pure going on there. But I'm talking about the uniqueness of the game of baseball. I think trumps any other game, especially in the United States. So we need to kind of continue some of those values, but yet progress, right? So I like your thinking, and as far as the old gray lady, she's gonna come down one day, brother. It's just gonna happen, and I'm gonna be sad too. We all, even people, much older than you, have had a history of being there, playing there, and it'll be a sad day. But right now, I'm rejoicing in no joke intended, man, in this renewed vows of bringing the fandom. Saw how many people showed up for FanFest. I think the people are excited to see what we could talk about. Hopefully, will be a surprisingly good season. Even though the Beast of the East looks very challenging.
Oof.
Well, you know what? Mark Ferguson and I discussed it the other day. Opening day, of course, is against the Chicago Cubs, and then you take a day off, a 3-game series, and then it's the New York Yankees. And I think it will be, without a shadow of a doubt, the biggest opening day in the 2 series back-to-back in the history of the old gray lady. And when they do decide, fellas, if I'm still on the planet, I know Mark Ferguson and I have said we got a good 4 or 5 years left of rocking and rolling. Well, I tell you what, it will be the greatest celebration of life that we have down here at Ferg's for the old Trop, especially when they stick the dynamite sticks in there and send her crashing to the ground. Not happening, Ben.
I can't let
You're
it
in
happen.
denial.
I am. I will camp out over there. I'm gonna claim squatters.
I think you
rights.
will.
No, he will. He definitely will.
I don't care what it takes. I'll find an open door, unlocked shed. I'm going to be there.
Can I ask Orestes? Can I ask you real quick? I don't want to keep you if we can.
Yeah, buddy.
But we did see that.
No, we're good.
Thank you. We saw the rendition what they're proposing there at the stadium on the site there on Del Mabry. Pretty great. But having covered the Rays the way you did and having played ball, and again, I reiterate back to you played at Joe Robbie Stadium in the hottest. Was that just a thrown together thing? Is there anything about that you'd like to see changed, or is that all in the right direction, or is there something you want to see for that covered stadium for the Rays in that new stadium they're going to have built.
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, listen. My answer is mixed because my initial wish was for the gas plant district to have worked and by that I mean, let me reiterate that. By that I mean with a Major League Baseball stadium being the cornerstone of it. The gas plant district being, the development actually starting and getting done will and should and will be done, and it has to be done so much for the city that I love in St. Petersburg, Tampa Bay area. Everybody wins when those type of projects are done right and done well. So that number one has to happen. But my first wish was like, I think that it was a situation, if you build it, they will come. And a lot of people with the speculation like, oh, no, it's just base, I don't care what you put on there and what you surround it. The gas plant and a baseball stadium wasn't going to work. I beg to differ. I think that the vibrancy of downtown St. Pete, the money that's down there, the fact that Sarasota still would go right over the bridge, and we have a lot of money people that are season ticket holders that would then more so come over. And then you have to create, would have created. Again, all of this is if and buts and candy and nuts because it didn't happen.
I'm gonna stay with him because he uses that on the Big O show all the time. That's why we love him.
I do
because he understands it.
He makes a great point too about people coming over from Sarasota. If you're a local, if you've lived here, it's a hell of a lot easier coming over the Skyway than it is trying to cross the Howard Franklin at 5:30 in the afternoon. And those brainiacs who think that it's a great idea, let's just build a new bridge. No, expand the lane going to the airport instead of it going from 4 lanes to 1 lane and being like, why is there congestion? Why isn't it not working? I don't know. Maybe add another lane. I'm not a rocket scientist.
No, I agree. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to play Orestes here because he obviously is still frozen. I'm going to say, though, because he was saying some great things, and he would know because he understands the history of the Gray Lady and St. Pete. I also think he was probably going to finish that statement a little bit alluding to the fact that there's also a large contingent of people that believe a mega sportsopolis, if you will, issue area down Del Mabry. Maybe someday the Lightning move over and they build condos there on the waterfront and have the Rays and the Bucks, and maybe there's a way that works. I think that most of that, and this is the part comes from me, is that what remains to be seen is, and he was starting to say there, when you build it, they will come, and you're putting all that around it. What they're proposing to do, on paper, it seems really great, but you're going to figure out who's going to pay, how they're going to pay, and how it's going to move forward. So I want to say he wasn't just going to say St. Pete's the definitive place. I think he's making the point that it does work on both sides, but we're still saying it works here.
Yeah, but over there, it's the Canadian vision. It's not the local vision. It's the Canadian. It's the New York. It's the New Jersey. It's
Don't get too down on Canada. We got a big issue.
I know.
Tomorrow at 10 a.m.
I'm just saying it's the everyone but us stadium. It's I don't care if you're from Seminole. I don't care if you're from Largo, Clearwater, St. Petersburg.
Sarasota.
It's, you're from New Jersey. Oh, you're from Canada. You're from New York. That's who that stadium is for. It's not for us. It's not for me and you who grew up here and remember being able to see the beach when you drove by. Remembering the orange groves that used to just be on right across the street
playing
from
ball
Mama's
all
kitchen.
summer, just taking breaks and taking oranges off all the trees in Seminole. That's how we grew up.
You guys
It's
are
not
making
for
me
us.
moisty-eyed.
It's
I
not
am.
for us.
I agree
it's
with
for
you.
them. It's for the people moving here, kicking us out, raising the property values, raising the property tax, building those monstrosities down here in St. Petersburg so that way you can't even see the water. It's ridiculous. It's not for us, and the city needs to stand up for it. The city needs to actually step in there and get everyone else out of here. Talk to us locals. It's for us.
Here. That's Ben Botham. And let me take care of a little business, and then we're going to bring our favorite bat boy into the conversation as well. A couple of things, and I should have done this much earlier. Last night up there in Tallahassee, our own Mark Ferguson was given the FSU Ames College Distinguished Alumni Award. And bravo, congratulations.
Bravo.
Congratulations.
Here.
Well deserved for what he has accomplished. 33 years down here at Fergs. Hey, did you hear me, Rusty?
I sure did, man. You know how we feel about Mark. I go back 30 years plus with Mark from the inception of of Fergs, and literally 98 when I first met him, and he had just opened up. So him and his wife and his kids. I mean, he is so deserved, and he's so been dogged about not only his business, obviously taking care of business, but that community, the baseball, and the love that he has for St. Pete. He deserves that immensely.
Well, he's gotten me involved in several organizations, and I feel like part of the team with Rick Vaughn as well.
Another good human.
The PAL League, you name it. You come down here, Mark Ferguson, and you need a fundraiser for your little league or your high school team. He's been superb in giving back to the community, and this is where he grew up, well, he'll get a lot more recognition in his lifetime, I'm certain. So what's on
hopefully there'll be a Ferg when they open up the new place, and just tie it up, and then I'll run, and you guys got some things going on. But that question, other than the gas plant, the new area is the right area, and the main reason is because you got to have a central spot, and they're really, other than what I thought was a good spot with the gas plant, it's AC, no longer ACC because it's actually Hillsborough College, but ACC. You can make that whole area a mecca. There's enough land. Another big factor, believe it or not, guys, is the fact that you can start digging pretty much right away. And that's needed. Once they pass the municipalities and all the stuff that needs to be done with the funding, you can start digging. You can't do that in Ybor. You have to reconfigure stuff. You can't even really do that at the gas plant, to be honest with you. There's a lot of movement and a lot of gentrifying and a lot of crazy stuff. So is it the right place? Yeah. Do I wish it was in St. Pete and create the new big lady? Yes, but unfortunately that didn't happen.
Orestes, I want to go ahead and say here, first of all, it was the Big O show on the FanStream Sports Network, you and JP, that it was you right there, what you just did, reaching across that bay, because you made me realize that there is a way that it does work here still even, but there's a way it actually works best as a centralized area. So I want to thank you for that, because I used to follow Foul Territory and little else as far as I'm following the O show, and I hope everyone else out there is as well, because you're locking it in.
Thank you so much. That means a lot.
No, brother, thank you. But I do want to tell you, I'm going to bust your chops until we can figure out how they're going to pay for it. Because I'm not going to say I don't want them in Orlando. We're not even going to go there.
How they're going to pay for it. We got to sit down and have another show real concise about that. And mainly because the jury's still out. So you and I can't even truly debate. I see ideas, I see directions, but there's also hiccups. Right? If you're talking about Tallahassee, oh, by the way, there's a chance that because of a positive thing that our governor's trying to do, which is take away, our property taxes, that could be massively detrimental to the building of the stadium, a few years from now.
Is his wife a baseball fan?
You need that money to.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Is his wife a baseball fan? Because obviously there's talk that she may be the person who's running for governor moving forward. So you're right. There's so many.
Is. He won a
so many
Little League World Series.
Well, there's Little League World Series right there in Temple. Was it Temple? No, it was Dunedin. Dunedin. But there's so many things.
Yeah.
We'll do more than one show. But I appreciate you so much for coming in here today. And I think we're showing.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yes.
We love you, brother. Come on down and have lunch with Mark and I anytime. And my thoughts and prayers.
I would love it.
My thoughts and prayers.
Mr. Burgers.
My thoughts and prayers. My thoughts and prayers for your wife, my man.
Thank you so much. She's doing much better, and you both went major brain surgery and neck surgery, and that's no joke. So good to see you up and about and doing your thing again, and she is too. So God bless you both.
All right, Aresti Estrada. They don't make him any better than him, man.
They do not.
It's a superb guy and a young man that let me take care of a little business. So we got a new sponsor, and he's a good friend of mine, Joseph Cover. And if you're looking for a payment solution that you can trust, and we're talking about point of sale system, One Price Swipes. I've seen him take this company from 2017 from just he beating the streets to one of the fastest growing in all of St. Pete, Tampa. It's your one partner, fast, secure, reliable payment processing, whether you run a restaurant, retail store, medical spa, these are the clients he has already. Pepsi, and they're going to convert into Tampa St. Pete Sports Connection clients. He doesn't know that yet. Dispensary, e-commerce business, or even accept cryptocurrency, like Ben Betts with. One Price Swipes has the technology and expertise to keep your business moving and your profits growing. They don't just process payments; we optimize them. So, OnePriceSwipes.com, and that's Joseph Colbert, and he'll be on from time to time to talk about that. But right now, let's have a little conversation with Nate Cowan. Of course, he's our favorite alumni of the Tampa Bay Rays. Bat boy for 12 years.
12 years. Well, Bat Boy for 7.
A little closer to the microphone,
Bat
man.
Boy for,
You can pull it towards you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Bat Boy for 7. Then I ran the food room for the last 5. But yeah, I was with the Rays for 12 years.
Which position did you prefer, the food room or chasing foul balls?
I'll tell you what. I mean, it was nice to go out and be on TV, but I learned a lot more with just kind of doing the food room. I got to like network and learn catering and learn a little bit different side of the business and how to coordinate with teams, things like that. But it's always cool to say you're on ESPN.
Well, and you have footage archived for a lifetime, and I don't think you get that footage in the food room, would you?
No, you would. But you get the secret conversations over there, which is the fun part.
You know how the sausage is made.
Yeah.
So let's talk about. Of course, the St. Pete Grand Prix is just a week away, isn't it?
This next
yeah, a
week?
week from right now.
Yeah.
Week
The
from
NASCAR
right now,
trucks are gonna be out there.
Right now, the Craftsman trucks will be out there the week from today.
Yeah.
In fact, they're going to be out here Wednesday night. We got
They
one
will
coming.
be here Wednesday night. The Mazda and the JTR racing. They're bringing a Mazda car here to Fergs.
Right.
For my event that we're hosting from 5 to 8. And then we're getting a NASCAR truck here as well. So we're getting ahead of the game, but it's coming up quick. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, a week from right now, they're going to be racing on the streets of St. Pete. How cool is that?
That's superb. We love it, and I've had pit crews that have stopped by and convinced them to come on the air, and it's amazing that downtown St. Pete has it, and it's been here for how many years now?
30.
Long time.
I mean,
Yeah.
89, 90, going back, and it was off for a few years, and they raced around a trot for a few years when it was the Grand Am series.
They did. They raced around the trot.
They came
right
up
out
here. They came uptown because they got off the waterfront, but then they realized, and that's why I think bringing it back to the waterfront, what got it to be worldwide, what made Indy cars come in, because they realized you can do a Monte Carlo view, but like on the streets of St. Pete. And I think here's the crazy thing. I was just down there this morning, and you probably were too. You can walk out there and still walk the course. They've gotten so good with the concrete and building the course that they still have traffic driving the course when just 5 days from now they'll be out there running on Thursday, probably doing practice.
No, they do a great job, and that's the perspective working for the Rays for as long as I did is you think about behind the scenes things like putting a course together, putting the game and the race or anything like that. It's very impressive how they put the course together and all the logistics that work to make the event happen. It's really cool.
Well, what I love is watching it on national television. Gives you a perspective of how beautiful it really is down here in downtown St. Petersburg, in that the bay and extremely cool.
And if you look at your 7-day forecast, they're forecasting sun and 80 a week from today, right? Or
Beautiful.
weekend. Yeah, so we'll have a little cool fun.
That's our in-house meteorologist, Ray Kennedy.
That's pretty
Got
good.
any more predictions for
Brought
the
to you by One Swipe Solutions.
week? Exactly.
They send it out to our
Joseph
weather
Colbert.
forecast. That's how it works here, Nick.
And ice pick vodka in the event it does get a little chilly.
Hey, you gotta need that. You gotta warm up.
Yes,
There you go.
Hey, let's today's the first game in spring training. That's the Atlanta Braves and the Tampa Bay Rays. Let's talk about spring training. Spring training, if I could speak.
There you go.
Thank you, Ben. I don't know what the hell's in this water. Anyway, I'm nervous about tomorrow's game. Molina's going to call me and pimp the hell out of me if these frickin' Americans don't win.
Can someone go find a Canadian flag for Molina? She wants to just have a little retribution.
I guarantee she'll have one next week.
Oh, I know she will.
If they win, it'll be on the entire damn show. But let's talk about what it's like as a bat boy during spring training, because you guys are getting ready just like the players and preparation.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, I literally, before I walked in here, I got a call from my friends at the Pittsburgh Pirates, and I was like, hey, I'm on a show right now. I can't talk to you. But it
Were
really
they
is a
recruiting
thing.
you?
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
I'm available.
But they, I mean, essentially a spring training day, when you're in Port Charlotte or when I worked in Bradenton as well for the Pirates.
Oh, you work for the Pirates too?
I was with the Pirates in spring training. Yeah, it was an interesting little system. I was with everybody. But, you're getting there at 6 o'clock in the morning and you have things you got to do. You got to set up. You have the trainers.
You were just a mercenary.
Oh, my God. It was.
Hired gun.
Mercenary
Why do you think
bat boy.
Why do you think I'm still single? Like.
I know why you're still single, but we won't go into that here. No, but let me ask you this.
Hey,
Yeah,
if you come with me afterwards, I'll get you into the locker room.
Booyah. I talked about this week. Steve Garvey, 1966. He was 12. His dad was a bus driver. He brought him over. He drove the Dodgers. They played
Great
the
story.
Yankees on the waterfront. Great story, right?
Yeah.
And he tells a story about how Sid, the first baseman, his name's escaped me, Gil Hodges, he was playing catch with him. He got to go warm it up, and then Mickey Mantle steps into the box. That's 56. That's the year that Mickey Mantle
the
led
year
the
I was
league.
born.
56, and he led the league with 52 home
That'd be
runs
69
once it's
years.
loaded.
1856.
Yeah, well, that's how I feel right now.
Oh, we're talking 1956. Who was the player for you, Nick, when they came and maybe it was a Rays player, but other teams when you were playing, that one player when they stepped into the cage for batting practice or when they were just getting warmed up was the guy that you couldn't help, or the other bat boys would be watching, going, "Wow, I can't believe Ichiro Suzuki is right there," or whom have you?
For me, it was Derek Jeter.
Boom.
Like in my first series working with the Rays,
Because you were a Yankees fan, weren't you? When
I was because Detroit Tigers were never good, so I had to get backup teams. So I had to,
Oh, so you're bandwagon right?
yeah,
Backup
hey,
teams.
if you get a wagon, I'll jump on that thing. Like I don't care. But no,
Cecil
Jeter,
Fielder was a guy.
Yeah, but Jeter was the coolest guy. Like it was the coolest moment because they say don't meet your heroes, but I have nothing but great things to say about my interactions with Derek Jeter. But Ichiro, you brought him up. I was the last
Ben's
bat boy.
favorite player, by the way.
And by the way,
Watch-
that's right,
I do
watch
love
what-
Ichiro.
watch what you
Awesome.
say.
I do
No,
love
I was gonna
Ichi.
say a good thing. Like Ichiro, I was like his last bat boy before he got traded the first time to Seattle because he got traded like the next day, to the Yankees from Seattle. And I was like, that was a cool thing for me to say. But then he went back to Seattle. I was like, well, I don't have that claim.
Do you have
anymore.
that bat?
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
no,
I tried.
wish.
I
would've
tried.
snagged
I was
one.
going to try.
I did collect a lot of really amazing like bats and stuff like
I
that.
bet.
But I never got into.
Have you ever
Ichiro
had
ones.
hard times where you had to start selling that stuff?
Fortunately, no.
This guy, he's the guy. If the Pittsburgh's calling him, they want him
but
to
I
come
mean,
in the
it's all-
game.
It's all sitting in a storage unit over in Tampa right now, and I never even see the stuff. But I went over there like 2 months ago, and I had like Evan
Bring it over to
Longoria
me.
back.
Can I
and
come
let
over
me
with
go
you?
through it.
I'll go
Yeah.
help you. I'll help you. We'll catalog.
We can do a
We'll
show from the
catalog.
storage
Yeah.
unit.
Let me ask you this: you talk about Jeter.
Yeah.
Were the ladies always around the field when Jeter was playing there?
No,
He wasn't that kind of cat, was he?
No, he wasn't.
But-
I will tell you a funny Derek Jeter story from his last game of the Trop. And I was bat boying. I do have that claim to fame. I was Derek Jeter's last bat boy at the Trop. But I went up to him in between like innings, and I was like, "Man, you got a lot of family here." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "Everybody in the stands has your last name on their T-shirt right now." And he thought that was funny. So I
Oh,
was
you
like,
were making a joke.
Yeah.
Nick, this is so Nick, because for a minute I'm thinking, oh, Nick's a little special. I didn't realize this. But that's actually a great joke.
He said you were special needs after the first
I
time
mean,
you were on.
special needs.
after the ghost story.
Hey, I had a
I tried
freaking
to-
nightmare
I
about your
tried
little
to
ass.
sell it.
I swear to God, you ghost story. Where do you come up with this stuff?
That was drama radio.
No
we're,
more
we're doing a
THC
serial here.
No more THC gummies before you go to bed.
Oh,
dude.
not that I'm out. Tap.
So, you got me speechless, which doesn't take a lot.
Take it over, Nick.
Hey.
Go,
So
go-
welcome to the Tampa St. Pete Sports Connection.
Yeah, thank you.
Uh,
So let's go back to some more stories because people love to hear that, and especially since I'm turned into a clip freak. You got a lot of clips the last time you were on, so give us some stories that people are curious about. Behind the scenes. Who was the tightest ass ever as far as tipping?
Oh.
Oh, man. A lot of them.
Oh.
That's
Stu Sternberg.
That's
No,
that's
Stuart
sad. That's sad.
No, honestly, the thing that changed, on that subject, the thing that changed the tipping culture is when they took away clubhouse dues and 2 CBAs ago. I think it was like 10 years ago. So now essentially there's no bill. So now the younger generation that's coming up to the big leagues, they don't know that the clubhouse employees are not being paid $1 million a year. So it's not their fault that they don't know that they should tip these people. But we kind of just had to.
Well, why
deal
don't
with
they
it.
tell them?
Well, does a lot of it come from a lot of the guys aren't from here? A lot of guys are from overseas now coming in. It might not be as culturally accepted. You know,
No
people-
excuse.
Well, still, I mean, you go over. I've never left the country, but yeah, I always hear you go to Europe, you don't tip, you don't do that. All my friends who are servers, they come over here and they don't get tipped when it's someone from out of the States. Is that probably like a little bit of what's going on?
I don't know if it is or not, because like there is that veteran connection where
Yeah.
people do communicate like, hey, these are people you take care of. This is stuff you do. But I honestly just think it's a lack of awareness where I don't think, but
I'd
also-
make them aware if it was me.
Well, how much cash do you have in your pocket right now? Dollar bills. No, I'm not going to rob you. Dollar bills.
Oh, I mean, 300 probably.
Oh, you got cash. How much cash? Everyone's touchless. No one has one swipe pay. But what I'm saying is that nowadays the guys back in the day, they carried a money clip and they had a fat little roll in there,
I
right?
still carry a money clip. What are you talking about?
Because you're old school. You're 1856, right?
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm kidding. But the thing is that they carried that roll. Nowadays, you're not gonna. And I get that what you're saying, and I think it goes what you're saying. You're not gonna. The players are gonna go, oh, do you take Venmo? I want to get you. And it's like, yeah, and they're making more money, and the guys in the locker room aren't getting that. And the thing is, that was kind of one of those cool things. You think a veteran on a team would always be sure to kind of lay the law on that.
Well, you have to think too. What about the Rays? We got a lot of guys on league minimum. They're only making $800,000 a year. you got to be respectful to them as well.
Lux is making what?
I'm staying silent on that.
Okay, yeah. Ooh.
What'd you say? The biggest tip you got was like $500?
$600 from Bud Norris. I will tell you a funny story, like perspective-wise. You want to know like clubhouse life and the way we would do things. So in spring training, you typically get tipped on the last day by everybody. So I literally had my wallet, and it had $1 in it. At the end of spring training, I've been there working 70 hours a week, 80 hours a week in spring training. Had
Down to
$1.
$1.
And then,
One
by
buck
the end
place.
of the day, I had almost 10 grand.
Oh, jeez.
Cash?
Yeah.
Wait, what? I just missed that tall story. I heard
gonna
10
quit
grand.
teaching.
What?
I don't think he's spent it all yet. He's got three.
Oh,
he's got
no.
300 on him right
I'm
now.
good at spending money.
Yeah, but how many tips did you make when you were working for the Pirates and that tight ass team?
No, they did a great job. They took care because like
Really?
the Pirates are more like they're similar
Old
to the Rays.
school?
Like homie, like they take care of their
Family.
People. Yeah, they take care of their people. That's the thing. Is
Who
like,
was your favorite pirate? We already know who your favorite.
Willie Stargell.
So Andrew
Yeah.
McCutcheon.
That's
Andrew
mine.
McCutcheon was
That's
amazing.
mine.
But Willie Stargell, he was a great pirate. But in like just personal interaction, somebody I talk to still daily is a Chicago Cubs pitcher named Jameson Taillon.
Oh.
He's a silly guy. I thought he hated me when we first met each other.
Really?
And now, like, literally, I'll send memes to him at 3 o'clock in the morning, and we talk every single
No,
day.
no offense, but you're not exactly a dominating presence from a size perspective. Did these guys ever take advantage of that or pimp the hell out of you?
No, because I'm very witty and sarcastic.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
So you just fire right back at them.
oh, yeah.
And he's got the gift of keeping his mouth shut until he needs to open it, which is crazy. I don't know. How can you be so smart and have so many stories?
Plus
I'm dumb and I'm always talking.
Plus, as a clubby, they need you.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I mean, amazingly, like my experiences with baseball players all the time, where if you treat them like a normal human being, everything is fine. They're not, going to take advantage of you. Like, they're not just going to use you. But I mean, Alex Rodriguez, for example, like
What was A-Rod like?
He was great. He was amazing. I was very surprised. But like he took the time to remember my name, say hey to me every time he'd walk in the door, with my name. But like it was just little things like that that I really do appreciate about the clubhouse.
What
scene.
years were you a bat boy?
2012 until 2018.
My buddy was
Wow.
gone. We've had him on many times. Jeff Mangold, he's the strength and conditioning coach of the Yankees for 4 World Series. He's got 4 rings. And I asked him about A-Rod, and he said the same thing. He said A-Rod was a great guy.
Wow.
A-Rod would listen to him as far as, you need to do this, because A-Rod was constantly trying to improve his game, whether it was through
He's still trying to improve himself. Oh.
Through a needle.
Oh, he's still trying to. I wasn't going to go down on him and mention even J-Lo, but since he did the needle thing, I want to ask you this. Who was the most superstitious Rays batter? The most superstitious, did he tap 5-6 times? Who had the OCD that they had to do the same thing so many times in your 6 years with the Rays or 7?
I mean, just what I observed, like even after bat boying, probably Brandon Lau.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, he does got some ticks.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's very routine oriented. That's the way I would put it.
It's
Like,
the same
he was
over every-
superstitious,
if you
but
watch
when
him
somebody is
closely.
routine oriented.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really in their head about it.
Does that drive you nuts there, Ben?
I don't mind it. I got a little routine. I always do something whenever the national anthem's going on. I always, fix my pants a certain way 3 times, take off my hat a couple times. and-
What the hell?
yeah, no,
Hey, it's better to fix his hat and taking off his pants.
no, I'm not taking them off. I'm on the ball field. I leave them on. I fix them 3 times. But yeah, I mean,
no wonder they're not paying you.
it's
Not
good.
You're a
three, not
liability,
3
dude.
times on my trousers if you want me.
You're sick.
What are we talking
No, it's good to have routine. I think
Yeah.
that's good. I think it's better for a pitcher to have routine other than a hitter because I think hitters are dumb. I think hitters are the biggest idiots on the baseball field. Maybe that's just because I'm a pitcher.
What do you think?
Well, because they can't do it. They fail, 70% of the time, and they're a stud. If I was a pitcher and I failed 70% of the time, guess what? I'm riding the pine all day long.
Pitchers know what pitch is coming though, and they know
Well,
where it's going.
because we're the ones
Ooh.
throwing it.
But now they're pitching to a robot. This is getting crazy. What are we talking about? Let me ask you
Do we
this.
serve wine here at Ferg's? We serve wine. don't
We have
Oh
cheese.
yeah, we got it on tap.
We don't need it because you're over here whining
Well,
about being a
well,
pitcher.
yeah.
Who had the cork bat and they had kept it somewhere special and they only told Nick to get it when it was
I
time?
wish I had cool stories like that because that was something I looked after. I was like, there's got to be something cool, like I'm going to see a scandal and be a part of it. Never happened. The
No
crazy-
garbage can taps or
Nope, never saw
none of
any of
that?
that. I got asked about that, but
I'm
no,
sure you
there was nothing I saw like that. The closest was when
Pitchers are probably the most blatant with some of their,
Oh, some of them are what, Mike?
a little grease here.
Cheating? Is that what's
it's
hard?
not cheating.
It's-
It's part of the history of the game. Okay,
Oh,
It's
see,
part of the
when,
fabric
when
of
he
it.
does it, it's history of the
No,
game.
no,
When the
no.
batters do it,
a
those
little Vaseline on the ball, a little Emery board to shave down the ball is it happens.
Of course, you're a
happens.
pitcher.
I mean, I'm not going to get myself in any sort of trouble, but I will say it was weird when people would put sunscreen on to go pitch at Tropicana Field.
Oh,
Oh, I like that. I like that.
And that was Stu Sternberg. And that was because he was burning. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, Mike, just real quick, come in for a cameo statement. I believe it was Albert Bell that had the bat boy climb through the ceiling to get his confiscated bats that the umpire.
Oh, my God. Remember that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Albert Bell's
wow.
bats were
That was like
confiscated.
90.
It was late 90s.
That's
somewhere.
Michael Furr, of course. He's the author of Curveball at the Crossroads, and he was on last week, and he obviously drove across here to
To get the ghost story in
Just-
person.
Just to say hello. No, I was in the
dude.
area. But I had to opine on the Albert Bell scenario with the hiring the bat boy to climb through the rafters to take his bat
And
from the
he
umpire.
hid the bats up there.
Well, the
They were
umpires
in the
confiscated
office.
them.
They took him before the game, and they were going to have him tested. He wanted to get him out. Some would say so they wouldn't be able to test it. I would pose he wanted to use him that night.
Possibly.
I think he wanted
hired
to
the
use
bat
them.
boy to climb through the grates of the ceiling to jump into the umpire's office, which was locked.
Yeah.
And then smuggle the bats back to Albert Bell so he wouldn't get in trouble.
Nate, would you have done that for the right amount of money?
Depends on the money.
For Gil
Hey,
But-
no offense with your physique, you'd have been perfect
I would
for
have
it.
been great, and I know the exact route I could have taken.
Impossible theme
Oh.
song. Doot, 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 doot.
behind the scenes.
The thing is, for him, though, unlike with Brady and the Patriots, they didn't have text phones back then, but they to get him to go in and get those bats.
It could have been. That was the thing is like if people did need something, and I never did anything sketchy or nefarious, but like if somebody did
What the hell's
need
wrong
things,
with you?
He's got to say that.
But no,
He's got to
base-
say that. He's
It's
gotta,
baseball.
just because I
He's
had
listening
good
to Ben.
relations.
I mean, hell, the mascot for the Pirates used to smuggle drugs for the team.
Yeah.
Who was that?
Oh my
Pete the
God.
Pirate or something?
Yep.
Petey the Pirate?
Yeah.
But no,
Seriously?
I just had
Yeah,
relationships with
congressional
people.
investigation.
I just had relationships with
the
people,
Dave
so
Farr
they come to
Keith
me.
Hernandez.
If
they
you're
needed
not
whatever.
cheating, you're not
There you
trying.
go.
If you're not cheating, you're not trying in baseball, huh?
No, I don't know if that's the case, but
That's
He's
the Leo
still-
DeRocher statement, wasn't it? Or something
Yeah,
like that?
yeah.
Loose lips sink ships. This guy's tight. That's why I'm right. I'm Team Nick.
Yeah, well,
Right here.
they all have his phone number. He's friends with him, and we wouldn't. He'd be fishing. He'd be swimming with the fishes out here in Tampa Bay if he disclosed any of that. So, what was your most exciting event as a? Well, you were there during the playoff season.
yeah. So a lot of things stand out. I was the Red Sox visiting Bat Boy when they came to play the ALDS and they beat the Rays in 2013. They went on to win the World Series. That was kind of cool to see my first clubhouse champagne celebration after, even though we had lost.
Did you wear the goggles?
I didn't because I was working. I'm picking up. That's the thing. If you look at these things, people are picking up these champagne bottles and beer bottles and stuff. Like they're cleaning as this is all going on. Almost got shot in the face with a cork a million times, of course.
Little workers' comp.
Yeah. And I was like, I was worried about driving home because we had to like steam clean the carpets that night. But I was like, if I get pulled over, like they're gonna give me a DUI, and I didn't have a single drop of alcohol.
You don't realize
you smell like
it's a professional
booze
athlete
factory.
thing. Professional athletes, you got to tell them always, anywhere but the face.
I thought you were saying it was the DUI was a professional athlete thing.
Well, that too.
A little Dewey.
But I mean, that was cool. The playoffs were always really cool. One thing that does stand out a lot to me that was my favorite time of year was spring training because everyone's in a great mood. Everyone's happy to see each other. And it was just like a more relaxed environment than the season.
Well, more relaxed until they made decisions on rosters.
That's the hardest
What
thing.
was that like?
That's the hardest thing. Because you know who's getting sent down or caught.
You know ahead of time?
Yep, because you got to pack their stuff and you got to.
Wow.
Oh,
You just got to
man.
wait for that message to get delivered to
You're
them.
Turk. You're the Turk.
They're like,
But you're
tell me, you little bastard, you're not packing me up.
no, it's
sending me to Durham,
You know, they'll come up to you, go like, "Hey, good morning," like everything's like normal, and
kissing your butt.
oh my god, yeah.
He's in-
it
You
is-
got any inside information you might want to share with me?
He's in packing Jeter stuff up just to mess with him. Jeter comes in and says, "What the?"
no,
That's
the
the Charlie
funniest,
Sheen in Major League thing, right? You
Right.
The red slip in the,
red slip
locker.
in the locker.
there are little tells though, like the team will post the next day's lineup, but they won't post the reserves, and so then if you're not on that list, but you've been a reserve for the last month, you kind of know.
Yeah.
So, but it's still it was hard because like these guys are losing their job essentially a lot of times.
Well, when these guys go up for just a cup of coffee, when and they're going to keep coming back and forth, they're probably pretty accustomed to it. So, do they have a bag they just keep packed?
no,
You
no,
got to
because
think, Mike, the salary. You make the opening day roster, you get the Major League salary.
Exactly.
You make the Durham
That's huge.
roster, you get the Durham salary.
That's
and,
huge.
and you get meal money.
Wow.
That's a big thing.
and it starts going towards the retirement fund as well.
Yeah.
Because when I worked for the Iowa Cubs, same thing. Whether they're going to Wrigley or they're staying right there at Sec Taylor Stadium in downtown Des Moines, which was a beautiful facility, by the way. Do you remember her name? Kerry Wood.
Kerry Wood, yeah.
Kerry Wood. Here's a good baseball story for you. We wind things down. 1997. It's a day game, and I get a call from the GM, good buddy, and he says, "Hey," and I really didn't have time with the family and my own little business. I didn't pay attention to, who's the stud, who's going to go up to Wrigley, because first of all, the Cubs sucked then. They were still owned by the Wrigley company.
Wood was a rookie, so no one even knew who he was.
Well, he said, "Go out and pick him up." He said, and take him to the hotel. Well, I didn't have two nickels to rub together, so I got this Chrysler frickin' Dynasty, and the kid's a monster. He's 19 years old.
huge.
Gets in my car. I've got his per diem check in my frickin' hand, and I opened it up and it was like $700 and some dollars. Now I was making that like every month,
Wow.
every 2 weeks. And I was the director of sales and marketing, so I'm pissed off about that. And then I got cash for him, and I take him down to after the game. It was a fundraiser that the veterans were putting on, cancer thing or whatever, and they were the bartenders. So I bring him in and I go, "Hey guys, here's rookie Kerry Wood," and everybody knew who he was, yada yada yada. And I said, I didn't drink. I said, "Get these guys all a drink, and then I'm out of here." So I leave, and the next morning I went to the park early and worked out, and I'm standing there, and the GM and the coach come up and they go, "Where the F is our rookie? He's not here today." The veterans I'd left. I said, I dropped him off, bought him a couple of drinks, and told him where the hotel was at. He said, "Well, first of all, he's 19. It's 21 in Iowa." And I mean, they just started chewing my ass. And he was a little tardy for practice that day.
But if I'm
But
right,
the greatest kid in the world.
Yeah.
And I got to know him well, and he loved my kids. Saw him in Chicago, saw him in New York, and those are the kind of stories that you have developing relationships.
Yeah, and I think to that same effect is what separated me, in my opinion, if we're just going to be personal about it, is when somebody got called up and they could be some top prospect or whatever. I didn't treat you any different than somebody who's been, 20 years trying to make it, and you're here. Like, you walk into the clubhouse, you come into my food room, "Hey, how you doing? Like, what do you need? Cuban sandwich? Let's go."
that's kind of a race thing.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? That's what, and hopefully that's what we have, retaining the entire baseball staff, but changes afoot, obviously. But I think that's one thing the Rays we've always had. We're a hat in hand community for our own. We just hate everyone else that comes in, especially those Canadians.
Okay, we only got.
Hell yeah.
Okay, we only got.
Cheers to that.
We only got 2 more minutes left, so we've got to remind everybody what takes place tomorrow down here. 8:10. Ray, what happens down here?
8:10. It's a watch party. The USA Canadians. Fantastic match there in Milano Cortina. 8:10 here. It'll be
John Cooper.
2:10 there. John Cooper coaching the Canadian team.
I'm gonna send John Cooper this flag, by the way.
There you go.
And tell him to sign it for me after he gets beat.
Yeah,
Beat-
but if
gets
if,
beat.
if the Canadians,
He's getting beat, John Cooper.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
well, he's
He's
coaching
the coach of the
Canada.
Can-
But if the Canadians,
Canadians.
win, Melina gets to take that flag and put it anywhere she wants on your body.
Yeah, well, I don't think we'll go there. All right. Well,
Late night tattoo sesh.
yeah. Well, guys, it's been a fun show. I'm Mike Rickard for Ben Botham, Ray Kennedy, Nick Cowan, Kenny Steele Seniors, Alex Reba, Wyatt Ross, Oresti Estrada, Tristan and Jacob, and Melina on our interns. Adam Fernandez is doing a superb job of our video streaming. And, of course, Joe Bordeaux at RadioSt.Pete.com, Florida Sports Streams. He's been with me for 7 years. Thanks for listening to the Tampa St. Pete Sports Connection. Wishing you and your families a fabulous weekend. God bless you. God bless America. And, as always, be sure to have a championship day.